You are listening to The Decision Reel.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Decision Reel Movie Review podcast, where the reels always fall off. I'm your host, Steve. With me this week are Randy and Tara. Also, maybe joining us later, Wally might come in over Discord to talk about the movie that we are talking about this week, which is what, Randall?
Total Recall.
The original Total Recall with Arnold.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that was excited about this?
If I watched the other one, would I have gotten the same story?
It's similar, but it's not the same story.
It's
the same concept. It's not the same storyline.
It's the same general idea,
Yep.
but done worse. Way worse.
It's gotta suck.
That movie does suck. This movie, however, I don't think does, but apparently you guys do.
It wasn't the worst,
But what?
but it wasn't good. I'll tell you that.
What was not good about Total
Oh
Recall?
my God,
Thinking
like
back-
everyone in it.
1990, they did good.
Yeah, this movie.
I'm starting to see it in your eyes now.
Okay.
I'm looking at it in the year
Okay.
it came out.
Uh-huh.
Not that bad. But right now,
Not
it
that
fucking is not.
Well, so that's the thing, right? Nostalgia is a huge deal, and looking at a movie like this up against movies that come out today, obviously the special effects, the way the movie's written, the way things happen, the flow of the movie, the acting even, sometimes might be worse nowadays, but
Arnie.
well, Arnold is a special case, okay?
What's wrong with you?
Is this a bad thing that we put this up here for
No,
her
like
to see?
the way the lighting is, I look like I have serious bags under my eyes. Like I'm so sleepy.
There you go. Now you can see it a bit better.
Look, maybe... look at me. I look like I haven't slept in 16 years.
Look at that bit. That bit is huge.
By the way, for the people playing the home game and listening on a podcast, we are available on YouTube where you can see us talk
Don't.
about our bags under our eyes.
Don't
Apparently.
look.
We all look terrible.
You can also find us on social media.
Right. Well, what I was going to say is before the reels do fall
you're
off,
doing.
but they
You got a
already
script?
fell off. Huh?
You got a new script?
I do
Is
have
that
a
what
new
you're saying?
script.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we
go
started
ahead.
with the
Do your
new
thing.
episode layout to me after the 100th episode special last week where we had Brett and Vinny on, which was a very
I'm sad I missed that.
what would the word be for that? Exciting
Yeah.
episode.
More talkative, surprisingly.
Why?
More talkative.
Why would you think that's
I
surprising?
think there was. I mean,
We talk a lot on here.
that's what I'm saying. We are some people
Oh, you're saying you're
already talk a lot.
You're right. Steve does talk a lot.
Yes, Steve does.
If we were to, obviously, it's not me.
No.
I barely get a word in here. But now that I have the floor, before the reels do eventually fall off, because apparently they just, as soon as we start, they go off. You can find us on our social media pages, which Randy was trying to say, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Find us on a podcast site like
Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That's all I know.
there's
there's
Podchaser, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on all those. Pretty much anywhere you can find your podcast.
TikTok?
We got a TikTok, but
We have a
it's-
TikTok?
We do. There's like 3 videos on there, and one of them got taken down because somebody was talking about when Greg was on for the Spaceballs episode. We got into if The Exorcist was the butt sexorcist,
Oh my God.
and it. I don't know how TikTok would flag that since I've seen worse things on there, but apparently we couldn't talk about the butt sexorcist.
Shocking.
Weird.
Sorry, I was just going to drink to that, but that's fine. Anyways, if you want, you can also check us out on our website, which is www.thedecisionreel.com. On there, you can find a merch tab, and with 10% off, using the code REEL10, you can buy any one of these things you're looking at on the screen if you're on YouTube.
That's REEL, by the way.
Yes,
I'm gonna get Brent a pair of those leggings,
you should.
and I want him to wear them.
I think he would look good in them.
He could do it.
He was feeling himself.
He was feeling himself hard.
Last episode, he was on here, and he was just like staring at himself the whole time, like, man, Look at me.
I feel good.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. I'm
I'm the
"Oh,
opposite. I'm looking at myself like, turn that off.
You don't need to look at it, but it's there
It's
for.
hard not to.
I mean,
It's just like there.
it is there. I tried to make
Should've worn a
everything
hat.
easy.
When you wear the hat, it blocks it.
You guys said something about me wearing hats every time.
Because everybody wears hats.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is fine. Anyways, the plot of Total Recall. When a man goes in to have virtual vacation memories of the planet Mars implanted in his mind, an unexpected and harrowing series of events forces him to go to the planet for real. Or is he? Ooh.
I'm going to
Jesus
be
Christ.
honest with you. I didn't pick a favorite scene, favorite character, least favorite, or anything because I was trying to process this fucking movie the entire time.
So that's the whole idea of the movie. It's supposed to make you think. And it's supposed to like be a mind fuck to have to go back and be like, I need to watch it
mind
again.
fuck,
I wouldn't either.
but I would just say very confusing.
Well, the whole thing
I wouldn't
is
say confusing either, though.
the whole thing though is
What
he
would you say?
is this a real thing or is this what happened at Recall?
I get what you're saying. Like, you're still trying to figure out.
Right.
Is
Did we
this
see
real?
the movie
Is
or are
it?
we seeing
Yeah.
his brain and he's being lobotomized on the table?
They answered it, right?
No.
It just
They
ended.
didn't.
It just ends.
So
When
we're just
he's
assuming,
still
we're just
there, so
assuming
you
that
just
he actually.
assume.
Well, no, it's up to your interpretation. Like, do you think he actually went to
It's
Mars?
1990, and it's an Arnold movie.
Yeah.
Don't make it come out as sophisticated as you want it to be.
Well, it's not an
What
Arnold movie.
year
It's a
was this
Paul
supposed to
Verhoeven.
be?
What year in the movie?
Yeah, did they say? I don't remember.
I don't think they did actually say.
was just
And I
curious.
kind of like that. Like, hey, this isn't
Well, I always
2017.
I
and,
was
like,
curious because, like, you
when
know,
did we
in
go to
some of the
Mars?
Back to the Future movies and stuff like that, like, we've already passed some of those years, and you're like,
Right.
where did our hoverboards go? Why don't we have hoverboards?
Why am I
Like,
not dressed like that?
Yeah, yeah. So I was just
Hoverboards
curious.
don't work
How
on
come
water.
we can't travel to, to Mars yet?
Or Saturn.
True, or Saturn, yeah. The rings of Saturn.
So Mercury, then Venus.
they
on the
just
Earth, then
brought
Mars,
that up
Jupiter, then
casually,
Saturn.
like-
There was a
So
rhyme.
three planets away, Saturn.
Yeah.
So Mercury, then Venus, on the Earth, then Mars.
I didn't know there
Jupiter,
was
then
a
Saturn.
there was a nursery
Uranus,
rhyme
and Neptune.
to sing the planets to remember them.
And then R.I.P.
You got it from
Pluto.
Drake and Josh.
But now it's back.
years ago.
So weird.
Yeah, it is a
Pluto?
planet,
Do that.
but it's not a planet.
It's a planet
It's
again.
a gaseous
Planet.
thing. Yeah,
Good for them.
Pluto is
bring
a
it back.
dog.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where to watch Total Recall? If you have a subscription to HBO Max, you can watch it on there. To rent, YouTube, Google Play, Amazon, Apple TV, Vudu. I always say it wrong. Is it Vudu? No, Roku is the one I'm
You say
thinking.
Roku.
It's Roku.
Roku.
God, I'm an idiot. Redbox, Philo, and
Not Steve's Plex.
Roku. No, because it was on HBO Max. You're on my
I know.
HBO Max.
That's why I was like, oh, fuck you. I don't
you
have
can
to pay for it.
supposedly watch it on Hulu with a subscription, too.
Well, that's a premium subscription, so you have to have an extra
But I'm saying you
subscription.
didn't mention it.
I don't mention premium subscriptions because you have to have a subscription to a subscription, and that's just fucking ridiculous.
Maybe if someone does have that.
I don't care. Then
Do you?
they know where it is.
Oh, then. Come on now.
Come on now. Written by Ronald Shusett and Dan O'Bannon, as well as Gary Goldman. Yeah, weird names. This was based on the 1966 short story called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale by Philip K. Dick.
That's too long. of
We
a
can
name.
remember it for you.
Wholesale.
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 So
For a price.
you're buying your memories.
Yeah.
The whole
No, I
idea
got
of
it.
recall, right?
That's too long of a name.
Total Recall's a lot
Yeah.
better.
For a short story.
Yeah.
The name
Correct.
is longer than the story.
Yes.
But let's be real here. The idea of this movie is super interesting, right? Like, instead of going on vacation, we'll just give you the memory and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but clearly they tried to remake it, and from what you're telling me, it did not work out that well.
Well, I'm not saying that the idea of the movie.
The
is-
second,
I'm
the
saying-
newer one wasn't as like campy, and they took out like the humorous parts of it. It was they tried to make it more serious, more like
It was almost like.
dramatic.
Remember when they rebooted with Jeremy Renner, who I'm happy he's still alive. Born Identity or Born. What was the one that he did?
Ooh, what was that called?
Born.
Born something.
Yeah. Anyways, they tried to
So
reboot
he
it
did.
with
So
him.
he did Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum.
and
What
it
did
was
Renner do? Born
Something.
What do you mean you're
to
happy
be
he's still
wild.
alive?
Oh my
Oh,
God,
he-
he got into an accident.
So he was plowing
He's in the ICU.
Yeah, he just got like out of surgery like last night or something, but he was plowing his driveway, his giant driveway in Lake Tahoe, and he was on one of those like Bearcat things, right? And this is, they don't know for sure yet because Jeremy Renner's not awake to talk about it. He was either like out the door of the side of it to like make sure it was clear and fell off of it and
got ran over?
Kind of ran over, but his leg got like ripped up into it, or he parked it, got out and went in front of it or behind it to clear out something, and it ran over him.
Ugh.
And so basically his neighbor was a doctor, and thank God, because he was basically bleeding out, and they used a tourniquet on him to like stop the bleeding out of his leg, because femoral artery. You can bleed out real quick out of your leg.
Yep.
Got it all whatevered and sent him to the hospital, and they had to do like surgery on him, and he was like in critical condition for a while. But apparently now he's
Did you
stable.
hear Kim Block died?
Yeah.
Dude, last night
Carrick was very
Oh,
upset
fucking
about
Jim
that.
Connor.
last night was a wild night for me. So I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a good night. I haven't watched the Bills play, and I want to watch the Bills play.
I heard about
Monday
that,
night,
too.
Monday night football. We're gonna watch the Bills play. Finally, I get to sit down. The World Juniors hockey tournament is on. Canada was playing Slovakia, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be a good game as well because it was the semifinals, so I get to watch that. And Monday Night Raw was on. I barely watched that, but I was like, I can flip between the three things, and watching the hockey game, and I'm like, all right, let me flip over to the Bills game. And it just starts, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. See this guy make this tackle. He goes down. I was like, that was a little weird tackle. Switch back to the hockey game. Watching the hockey game, switch back over, and it's on commercial. I'm like...
Yeah, because it was only like 8 minutes in.
Right. And I was like, this is a long-ass commercial. And they're playing like the same NFL network commercial. And I was like, this is on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. And I'm like, this is a big game. What's going on here? So I flip back to the hockey game, watch the hockey game, cool, whatever. The first period's over, second period or whatever it was. And I flip back over and it's still on commercial. I'm like, was that a bad hit? Like, I remember like watching it. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Jesus. I remember watching it and then like thinking it was a bad hit, but nothing like crazy.
It didn't look that bad.
Well, it wasn't. That's the thing.
Well,
is-
the guy that went down wasn't even the guy that got hit.
well,
Really. Like, he was just kind of in it.
Well, no, he made the stop on the player. So basically the
Yeah.
player, his helmet ran into his chest. And as he grabbed him and got hit, absorbed the hit and fell to the ground, basically what's coming out now is what a lot of people are saying is it stops his heart, put him in cardiac arrest. And when he got up from the hit, he was like, ugh, and then fell over because, well, he didn't have any oxygen in him.
Yeah.
His blood wasn't pumping. He just done. And so I turned back in and they're like showing all the players around. I was like, huh.
From
It
both
was-
teams.
I guess
It
that
was
was
really
bad. Yeah.
traumatic,
Well, this
yeah.
was like right when it was starting. I was like, oh, that's pretty bad.
He was technically dead for like 5 minutes.
Well, if you're pumping CPR on somebody for 8 minutes, they're fucking
yeah.
dead.
They're
he
not,
was gone.
Right. So what, again, preliminary reports, I was like on Twitter, I was on the NFL Reddit, like if anybody had anything, and they basically said nothing was on TV because it was so bad with the players out there literally watching them, and they said violently giving him CPR, right? So if you're a player and that's your, like, let's be real, you hang out with these people more than your
Yeah.
family, right? That's your boy on the ground, like
Not only
they're-
that, but the other two. I mean, you were seeing people from both teams
teams.
like
Yeah.
traumatized, like,
Yeah.
and even like you said, they were trying not to show a lot. Even the stuff they did show, like people are crying, they're like in shock, they're zoned out. The fact that they were even still debating on whether to stop that game or not was insane to me.
That was a whole
There's no way those
conversation.
guys would have been able to play. I would have refused. I would have, if it were me, I would have been in that locker room being like, no.
So
I'm
there's-
not coming out.
There's
Like,
two reports right now. One is that it wasn't hey, we're still thinking about this. It was the refs saw what happened, let the, do whatever they needed to do. And they didn't think it was a serious thing. They thought it was like, oh, his arm was broken or whatever. Okay, 5 minutes, everybody collect your shit and let's get back. And then they went, oh, no. This is serious. And the coaches basically said, we ain't fucking playing.
Yeah.
well,
that's
no, I know,
one
but I'm
thing.
saying that temporarily suspended thing was up on the screen for a long time, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That it should have been as soon as he was getting CPR. Honestly, it should have been no. Like,
Well, it's one of those things of there's so much to go into saying, all right, we're done here. You know what I mean? Like, think of all the vendors that are there. All the people
I get
that
what
did
you're
it,
saying, but there was
so-
just, I mean, it would have been there's no way.
Oh, I agree,
Like-
100%. Like, it should not. Let's say they did the right thing, but it did take a little too long
there.
to
Yeah,
say
yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
canceled.
And honestly, what Carrick was saying is Carrick said, what I bet happened is what you're saying. He said, I bet they said, like the players and the coaches were like, we're not doing this.
Oh yeah.
And they were kind of stalling on announcing it because they were like, what do we say? Do we say that we're going to reschedule it? Do we? So
Yeah,
Carrick was like, they probably made the decision earlier than what they announced.
I think it was okay if we're gonna say it's canceled.
We need a plan.
Well, not only we need a plan, we need a definite of his status, right?
Yeah.
We can't say,
Something.
all right, it's canceled, but we have no idea what's going on with this guy, right? So maybe that's what it was, or we wanted to wait till he got to the hospital and he was stable enough for us to go, all right.
I don't like
done.
that we haven't heard anything.
Oh, no, they came out, even the Buffalo Bills came out today and said that he suffered a cardiac arrest on the field. He was resuscitated on the field. They brought him to the hospital. They put, just, if anybody who gets CPR, you have to actually put
Well,
him
I saw that he had a breathing tube.
Right, you have to have that.
And
so
they put
he's
him
out.
They put him out.
Correct,
Yeah.
he's out. They're doing tests to figure out why exactly he had it. So here's the thing, and I've already seen people, ooh, the jab gave it to him. No. He got fucking hit in the goddamn
my
heart.
God.
Oh, trust me. People are trying to spin this into, well, I told you, in 2 years, people are going to just start dropping dead.
The dude got fucking.
Did you not
Did
see
you
what
see-
happened before it?
Wait, did you just see today an ex-Jaguars player who was like 38 years old died of a heart attack?
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing it about that too. People are dying younger and younger from heart attacks in the last 3 years. I wonder why.
No.
Could it not be from the stress of the world, maybe? Like
No,
all the junk we're putting in our bodies and
that
stuff?
and
Like
when people die, we know about it instantly now with social
All
media
over
and
the place,
everything, right?
yeah.
So think 10 years ago, if somebody died, you would hear about it maybe a week later.
if
Well,
that.
maybe, depending on who it was, right? But now it's like instantaneously that goes out, everybody knows.
And that's what's sad about this now too. Like
Oh, yeah.
that video is going to be around. There's no way they're going to be able to scrub that from the entire internet.
If
That video is gonna be
So
around.
let's be real. If he dies, that sucks. But if he doesn't and he's able to make even if he doesn't play football again,
It's still traumatic though to
sucks.
see, like especially for his mom and stuff. Like she rode with him to the hospital
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. Like
When
they wouldn't even show it on TV. Like they weren't showing any replays or anything because they were like,
And-
we can't.
Well,
Like,
no, it's out of respect for the person. Give him
That's
his
what I'm
privacy,
saying,
right?
like-
It's not like it's a gruesome scene and his
Yeah.
fucking his legs backwards or some shit. No, just
no, but at first it could have been a gruesome scene. No one knew. I mean,
Oh,
that could
yeah.
have been the first guy that died on
no. Somebody has died before
live
on
TV.
Live TV. Have you seen people get shot in the 60s and 70s on gun on live
That's
TV?
okay. First of all,
In sports,
that's
yes, I got you.
not shot and killed. Little different.
Well, this got serious.
The reels always fall off here super quick. Anyways, what I was trying to say is the
reels
one
always
time I want to sit and watch the Bills, and I thought I had a great game to watch. It was going to be the best, game of the week, and I could finally sit and watch it. I had no time to do anything else. Can't even get through the first quarter. Whatever. And then Canada goes up 3-1, and I'm like, all right, we're good. Nope. Goes into overtime. They had like 10 chances to score, like great chances. Their goalie that was playing for them was just standing on his head. It was amazing. Canada did eventually win. If anybody likes hockey, look up that fucking highlight. Amazing. Connor Bedard's going to be a very big superstar here soon. Anyways, back to Total Recall, the movie at hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that thing. It was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who's also directed RoboCop, Basic Instinct, Showgirls, Starship Troopers, and Hollow Man.
Showgirl.
I want to cover Showgirls soon on this goddamn show.
What is that?
Oh my god.
Looking it up. Don't worry about it.
I don't even
Don't-
know
don't
how
worry.
to
Don't look it up.
explain
I'm looking it up.
Showgirls to you.
Boobies.
Besides, well,
Movies.
it ain't. It's not about
But there's
that.
some boobies.
It's not about that.
But there are boobies.
There's one scene in particular that always sticks out to me, and that's the pool scene. The pool sex scene. She's having like a seizure. What do you got there?
I'm just looking up who was in it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
so the
To see
funniest
if you
thing,
wanna see
Kelly,
any
what
of
is
their
it? Kelly
boobies.
Yeah,
Kaparsky, whatever her name is.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth
Berkley?
Yeah, so she was in the TV
Pamela
show.
Anderson. Oh,
Pamela
everybody's seen her
Anderson.
boobs.
She's in Pamela Anderson's not in
It was
Showgirls. Like a
probably
second,
just
maybe.
like
Anyways, what's
maybe
the
she
show?
was a dancer.
What's the show I'm thinking of? 90s.
Nope. What?
Elizabeth Berkley?
The high school show that like was super huge.
90210?
Nope, right before that. Tiffany Thiessen.
Saved by the Bell?
Thank you. Saved by the Bell.
I was gonna say
She was one of the main stars in that. So this was like a huge deal that she was in this movie because it's all
It's a little adult in comparison.
Not only that, but the lead up to that movie's release was like this was going to be like something to change cinema, and it was going to be like this huge, giant, like amazing cinematic masterpiece. And then what it ended up being, oh my god, it's coming up soon. We're going to do that movie because it's so ridiculous. We would have a lot of fun talking about it.
Okay.
And Randy's like,
boobies.
Speaking of boobies,
Hey, boobie.
did you like the boobies in this movie?
Which
At
ones?
first, at the side view, it was like, oh, nice tits. And then I saw the 3, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Come on,
I don't want this anymore. Take it. Put it away.
Take it.
You don't
But
want
what?
three boobies?
Put them away.
You don't like the Mutant 3?
No.
Really?
I wasn't a fan. It was one too many.
They were decent boobies too.
They were. That's
So
why I said
I've
from the
always
side, I
wondered,
was like, nice.
Are they all fake? Or is it just
I
like they
wondered the same
made the
thing.
middle appliance?
So
Yeah, but
I think
then
it's
there'd be
all.
like,
I think
oh,
it's
we out
all.
Here.
I was gonna say, based on the way, as someone who has boobies,
You have
the
seat
way
of the
that
floor.
the boobies looked, I don't think they were pushed to like those two were pushed to the
Yeah,
side.
I think
like
maybe,
they would have
yeah.
looked. They wouldn't have looked as nice as they did.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was a full,
Yeah.
all 3 appliance.
They had it in the. Oh my god, what's the movie I'm thinking of? Good Luck Chuck. That
Yep,
chick had
yeah,
3
yeah.
boobies.
But those were CGI'd,
those were
and they didn't look that good.
they were. But she was seeing a plastic surgeon, and he convinced her
I like that movie.
keep them.
You know, everybody has their I'm Dane cooked out.
I like Dane Cook.
Not me. I could listen
I'm
to
a
his.
I'm a little like
You don't want to see anything new with him
I'm a little icked by him
now.
now.
Yeah. I'm not gonna watch
but
any
I
new
still-
stand up or new stuff. He's like dating like a
Oh no, he's engaged,
engaged
to
to like
a
a 20
24-year-old,
yeah, and he's like 50.
Is he 50?
yeah.
God damn.
He was old when he started.
Yeah, it was like 30.
No,
wasn't
oh,
it?
I'm sorry. He's engaged to a 23-year-old, and they posted that they'd started dating 5 years ago, meaning she was just 18.
Woof.
Now, here's my thing. Convenient
Convenient.
that you started dating exactly 5 years ago, exactly the year that she turned 18. Did you?
No.
You know what I mean? Or did you know her before that? Did you
Also-
start like
Can we talk about in the late 90s, early 2000s when people always had like the countdown till you're 18, like the Olsen twins or Christina Aguilera or
big-
Britney Spears? Like that was a huge deal. That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I want to say something. This is a different recipe. It tastes
is it better?
different. It's not
I
as
didn't like the
Hold on,
raspberries.
it's not as strong. It's got like a hint of raspberry.
They might be old. I don't know.
What do you mean they might be old? Where'd you get these?
From the one in
No,
Callaway.
November 2023.
Yeah.
is the date
Oh,
on
okay,
them.
so they're new. So maybe they did.
They got it. They
This
got a
tastes
year
fine.
at least,
This
almost.
It's
tastes-
like a just it tastes like tea with a hint of raspberry.
When I first
This
tried the
tastes
raspberry tea, I was really disappointed because, like I said, I like
strong.
regular raspberry tea, but I didn't like the fake raspberry taste that you got from it.
The fake raspberry.
Raspberry.
Another movie that Paul Verhoeven has directed that we are definitely going to cover, Starship Troopers.
I knew that's the one you were going to say.
It's that movie I watched on repeat.
Is that the Tim
In,
Allen
like-
one?
The what?
Who is that one? Which one is it? Which one was Tim Allen?
Galaxy Quest?
Woof,
You know what I'm
bro.
talking
Yes, Galaxy Quest is Tim
Thank you.
Allen in
Okay.
space.
Yeah.
Starship
Yeah.
Troopers is on a whole different planet. See what I did there?
Wasn't Tim
Then
Allen in
that.
2 different space movies? What was the one, or was Galaxy Quest the one where he was an actor and
Right.
That's the one.
what was the other one that had Matt LeBlanc?
Zoom. That you're thinking of Lost in Space,
Lost in Space. Thank you.
but the other
With
Tim
the,
Allen
with
movie.
the Tim Robinson. No, yeah, with the Tim
yeah.
Will Robinson.
Will Robinson. Yeah. But the
Because that
other
had Matt LeBlanc in it.
Correct.
The remake.
the other space movie you're thinking of with Tim Allen is Zoom. It was the Disney Channel movie, or
Right,
not
right,
Disney
right,
Channel, but
right,
Disney
right,
movie
right.
with like superheroes.
They
on
were
it.
like
There's no way you haven't seen it.
training new
think I have.
ones. Or
Yeah.
something.
What's her face? Was
Courtney
in that.
Cox was in it.
Courtney Cox, and then a young, what's her name? She was in House of Cards. She was in the new Fantastic Four. She was
Jessica Alba.
no, she played Jessica Alba's character in the newer Fantastic
Oh, I
Four.
didn't see the newer.
You know
I
what I'm
didn't-
talking about?
Kate
Kate Mara.
no.
Mara? Yeah, it's her.
Kate Mara is
Yeah.
not in the
Fantastic Four, right? The new one?
Fan Four Stick.
Kate Mara,
Fantastic
the redhead.
Four.
Is she redheaded?
The 2015
Is
one.
that not the one
correct.
I'm? Oh, she's redhead in some of her
The
movies.
2015 one.
Yeah.
Kate Mara.
Yeah. So I'm correct.
What else was she in?
Zoom.
No.
She wasn't she in
Yes, she
Shooter?
was.
I'm
in
sure.
Shooter.
Yeah,
Shooter.
Shooter.
Yeah, that's where I
That's
remember
what
her
I'm
from.
Tell me
thinking
she's
of.
not in Zoom.
I don't know.
Oh, she was Megan Levy, the dog movie with the dog.
Marley and Me.
Gonna be
No,
honest
Megan
with you, I
Levy.
don't
She was
see
a
Zoom
she
on
was
here.
a military. She was in the military, and she had a military dog, and it was
Zoom's not on here.
Just
thing
type
like
in Zoom and look at the cast.
Zoom.
Zoom.
zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom. My supernova
He doesn't
girl.
know that movie.
Oh, she was.
Thank you.
Xenon,
He doesn't know Xenon.
Zooms.
Fucking protozoa, right?
protozoa.
Yeah. Come on.
Xenon, zoom, zoom, zoom.
What are you talking about?
Make
We
my heart
talked
go
about
boom,
this on the
boom.
motocross episode that you've never seen any of the Xenon
Oh my
movies.
God, you have to watch
Oh,
the
yeah, no.
really the first one. Like mainly,
Yeah, the
you
first
need to
one's-
watch the first one.
The first one's a good movie. It's not like
Can I tell you,
cheesy.
I was obsessed with like the outfits that they wore.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
at
liked
least
it.
when that movie came out, like I was like, these are because they tried to make them futuristic, but they actually were still kind of 90s, 2000s vibe, even
Oh,
for
yeah.
being futuristic. Like
They were. And
I loved their outfits. I was like, I want these.
Wasn't-
outfits.
Jamie Lynn Spears in one of those?
I don't think so.
I want to say she was like in the third one.
like the one where the main girl, wasn't in
I
it.
think so.
And Raven Simone was in one of them, but then they
Raven was in
replaced
the first
her
one.
in the second one.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Disney Channel movies.
Xenon, girl of the 21st century.
What's your favorite Disney Channel movie?
I don't know. I'd have to look at like a list.
I liked Smart House.
Smart House.
But
was
her
alright.
Smart House also got a little traumatizing in the end. Like when she took over, that was a little traumatizing.
I like.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I like Twitches.
Twitches was alright.
Yeah, I like that
what was
one.
the
Was
one?
that with the
The twins.
Maori
Twin
twins?
witches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one where she like has like the doll and wants it to be real and then it turns real?
And it has,
With Lindsay Lohan?
Is it Lindsay Lohan?
With Tyra
Banks.
Tyra Banks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh
Um,
my god.
Wish Upon a Star? No.
No.
I think it is
It's
actually.
It's not,
no, it's
no.
not Wish Upon a Star because Wish Upon a Star is another Disney movie. Oh my god. Why am I blanking on this? Because they made a second one or they were talking about making a second
Oh
one.
no, it's like life sized or
Life
something.
size.
That's what it.
Is
Something
it?
like that. Yeah. No, that
Life-
was a
That
good movie.
sounded right.
Size.
I don't know.
Yeah, life
Size?
size.
Life
Life size.
size.
2000, Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
I've seen too many
That was-
goddamn
that
Disney
the
Channel.
the other Maori sister one I liked was I think it might have just been called 17, where like her grandma goes back to being 17 and she looks, but one of the twins plays the grandma and one
I've
of them
seen
plays
that.
the
Yeah, that was a
granddaughter.
good.
Seen that.
And their brother was in it, TJ Maori. The
Is he dead? No, somebody died. I think he did die.
TJ Maori didn't die.
Somebody like him did.
Careful.
No, like that smaller type kid actor. You went there. I didn't go
Easy.
there. Was it famous Jet Jackson?
I don't know.
Actually, I did. I do think he died.
Who?
The famous Jet Jackson.
Don't know who that is.
You never seen that show? That was on Disney Channel. The famous Jet Jackson.
TJ Maori was also in that show with them.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Disney show. What was Sister?
Sisters. Yeah,
Sister.
And he didn't even play their brother. Wasn't he like the neighbor
I
kid or
think
something?
so. Yeah. Please look up if he's alive. It's gonna bug the shit out of me.
I think we would have seen if he was like,
But I'm talking like a couple years
because the
ago.
Maori sisters are still
Yeah,
pretty
they're working.
popular.
Yeah, they're
so like,
working,
I
yeah.
think we would have seen.
Something.
Where are we at with this?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not TJ Maori. It's Taj Maori.
Taj, that's right. Well,
He
there's
is
a T
not
and a J
dead.
in it.
He's not dead. He's
How old?
36 years old.
Woof. I feel old.
Smart
like
guy.
34.
Smart
guy?
guy. That was the one where he was the main character, where he was like in high school, but he was younger. Like he jumped up.
Yeah, I got to redeem myself and figure out who I was thinking about so I don't sound racist.
17 again. Sorry, 17 again, not 17. 17 again.
What was the one with Zac
haven't seen
Efron? Isn't that
High School
17 again?
Musical?
It was 17 again, but it was the number 17.
Ooh, whoops.
And
That's how you get around copyright
and
strike.
Well, you.
Who was he as an adult?
Yeah, friends, whatever.
Perry.
You know, I'm sure
Oh,
you
yeah.
read this interview with him that he said he can't watch Friends back because he can pinpoint what drug he was on.
yeah.
At
He,
what?
well, when he was on the reunion, he kind of
This is
before
really
the book.
good.
Obviously, the reunion was before the book came out. Before like he was doing interviews about his, for his book tour and stuff.
Sure.
The reunion came out, and he was pretty open. Like they were sat around. You probably didn't watch the reunion. Did you watch the reunion?
I didn't.
It was good. You should watch it.
It was good.
Like it was better than what it was more than what I expected from
got
it,
you,
is
I
what I'm
got you.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But he sat down or they were all sitting down in the coffee shop, and they were talking about like if they still watch
Central
the
Perk, if you're
episodes,
wondering.
and they were saying like they could. What was weird with shooting with a live audience is you could hear instantaneously if a joke hit or not, like if it landed or not,
because they were there.
and
yeah,
that
makes
sometimes
sense.
that would mess with them. And Matthew Perry said, I would have inner panic if I wasn't the one on set getting laughs. Like if I was not pulling my weight, if I was not getting, which is why in a lot of the bloopers, I think is why he's in like bloopers with other people. He like runs in and like does something, even though he's not even in the
Those are
scene.
also fucking hilarious.
They are
when he
so
doesn't
funny,
go.
Right.
and he was funny. There wasn't anything like he didn't
He was
have
just-
to try hard.
right, he
but
was just in
it
his
was
own
just
brain,
in
yeah.
yes, which I think probably led to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that led to it was he got in that accident. It was like a jet ski accident or something, and he got put on.
Being rich and having
Meds.
fun shit and getting in accidents.
He got put on meds, and then he got like
Right.
hooked on them.
Interesting. Back to Total Recall.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Rated R. God damn it. Rated R. It doesn't actually say anywhere why it's rated R, but I'm sure we can guess
But don't on
why
HBO.
it's rated R.
Maybe
It's
the
on
three
HBO.
boobies.
Did?
Yeah,
What did it say?
I don't know.
It could be because of three boobies.
I would say
I think it was-
violence, action, swearing, blood,
some
graphic violence,
some
graphic
sexual
nudity,
content.
some sexual content,
Yeah.
everything.
Well, it was only 4, but yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, on IMDb, on Google, wherever I looked, it just said rated
Nothing.
R. Now, again, this is in that little era window where it was just like, we're just giving ratings. We don't need to say why. It was like, it's rated G. Sure, go take your kids to it. But there's a fuck in it, but it's rated G. It's fine.
There's a fuck in
There's a
it.
lot of- yeah. Him fucking. Maybe I have my favorite scene. All right, we're good.
Look, keep it.
going. Yep.
So this is starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as Quaid,
still-
Sharon Stone as Lori, Michael Ironside
Lori.
as Richter, Rachel
That was Sharon
Contin.
Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't she look
No
great?
shit.
Tell.
Did she not look great in this movie?
She's
Here's
hot.
what I was saying to Carrick. I
was hot.
said, here's the thing. You can tell that it's Sharon Stone, but even if you put like current Sharon Stone and then
Right.
next to
No.
each other, you can see that it's like
Different.
she's had
So
Yeah.
I get into this into my fun facts, but she trained her ass off for this.
But she
movie.
looked great.
Like she became like a black belt in Taekwondo for this movie, and like went above and
I
beyond. But
just
we'll
saw
get
it.
into it.
Yeah.
We'll just saw it. Yeah. Michael Ironside as Richter, Rachel Tacontin, I don't know, as Melina, Ronnie Cox as Cohagen, Mel Johnson Jr. as Benny.
And the Jets.
Why did we stop playing that?
I don't know.
You make the set list.
We're bringing it back.
I'm still waiting for that set list so I can
gonna
go
bring it
over
back.
some
Oh,
songs.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Runtime of
We should bring that
this
back.
movie is 113 minutes. I will agree
Too long.
that it is a little too long, but I still love the idea of the movie. I love the like the feeling of the movie while you watch it, like I don't know, I like the atmosphere of the movie almost, or what it looks like, or being on Mars, or the set design and all that. I fuck with it. You know, it looks cool.
Fuck with this.
I fuck with it.
It wasn't
this.
bad, especially for 1990.
Okay.
Right.
Did pretty good.
Yeah. And see, this is the why I like you here on the show, because you're not, I don't want to say tainted, but you're not, you don't,
I haven't seen shit.
well, not that you haven't
so I don't
seen
have,
anything,
I
but
don't
you,
have rose tinted glasses for anything.
no,
really.
and looking at a movie that you're like, well, this looks terrible and it's acted terrible. But at the time, this was peak
Yeah.
cinema. This was your Fast and
God, what a sad time to be.
Fast 9. Fuck off. This was your like
Thank goodness I
big
was only two.
blockbuster movie in the summer. You know what I mean?
Was it? I guess
Randall
we'll
wasn't
find
even
out.
We're gonna
born
find out.
yet.
I wasn't.
No.
Then we were only two.
So this was released, speaking of how old we are, June 1st, 1990. So this is
It's Randall's birthday.
look at that guy.
Not 1990, June 1st.
For your uncle.
Pew, pew.
Right. Can I do that? I can
There
do
you
it.
go.
Yeah, look at
Yeah, you
that. Anyway, so this is a big blockbuster summer movie. You know what I mean? And it's an Arnold movie. At the time, Arnold is on top of the world. Let's be real.
Arnold.
And he was only trajectorying up. Is that a word? Trajectory?
He ran a whole state.
He did. But this was a decade after that, right?
But like,
yeah, he was the
Harder than
governor.
that.
he ran a whole state.
Yeah, a big state too.
That's
A
what.
really fucking big state.
Yeah,
The biggest.
one of the biggest.
One of, yeah.
I think Texas might be the biggest. Well, it
Area
depends on how they
code-wise.
do it because sometimes
sure
they do it by
Alaska
area,
is.
sometimes they do it by population. So I don't.
So I would say California then. California. I would say it.
Governor,
I've never heard him say California.
California,
The governor.
I don't follow
get down.
Dude,
the old Schwarzenegger.
chopper.
like
it's
that.
so weird because like he was pop culture. So for you to not like ever be in that blows my mind a little bit. You know what I mean?
He's a little too much.
What? But he isn't. But he is. But
Oh,
he isn't.
but he is.
But he is.
But it's so good. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I wouldn't say he's so good.
See that's the thing that I get, and it's weird to see. Like Arnold was the action star, but we know he's a shit actor. But that just made.
But that's
it
what
that
I was
much
saying when we
better.
talked about Jingle All the Way. Is he's not an actor.
Right.
He's an action star, and
Right.
that is different.
And that's what makes that movie though, because you have to watch. You have to be in the moment.
Stallone.
Right?
Is he even that good of an action star?
Yeah. Well, so
Is he?
you hold on. You haven't seen, where is it? Put it up.
Predator.
You haven't seen Predator. You haven't seen Terminator 1 or 2.
presence?
Well, that's
What
what
was
the present you got because you weren't here.
Predator.
What I'm
But
saying
you guys
is
saw it.
that movie right there will change your opinion on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right, we'll fucking see. I mean, I'm not going to watch the DVD. I'm going to keep it wrapped up, nice and pristine.
Sure, whatever.
I'll find
Eric and I already watched ours.
The Captain
Small-
Ron.
Small. No, the.
I don't know.
Oh, Small
DVD
Soldiers. Tell me it doesn't hold up.
It does.
It's a great movie.
It does.
And
Still also traumatizing,
a little bit.
even
yeah.
as a grown up.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, this lady didn't fucking notice her drink was fizzing when she took a sip because they put like sleeping pills in her drink and it was like fizzing. And I was like, the fuck? I would have noticed if my drink was fizzing.
Depending on how many drinks she's in, though.
I mean, I guess.
If
but
I'm like 10 in,
I
and
doubt she
my
was
shit's
10
fizzing,
in.
I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up?
Oh,
Look at this. All right. You know, you're going for it.
Carbonated.
Right.
Twisted Steve.
So I actually think you would be next, wouldn't you? So we would be doing Small Soldiers next.
What?
So we're doing the picks that everybody got, right?
Are we?
Yeah. So we're doing the movies that everybody received.
Who got Total Recall?
I got it for, it's who got what. That's right, it is.
Who
So-
got what?
No,
I got-
it's what I gave. So I
Yeah.
gave Total Recall to you. So
I'm next
yeah, so you gave Wally
not
Captain
next.
Run. Who's next? Would it be Wally?
because I did the last Christmas movie.
And then
And then we skipped a week because it was the 100th
Yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah.
So
and
it's
then Wally did the one before that for
So it's
Ernest.
you then.
So it's me.
So it's whatever you got.
Whatever I got.
But
Bond,
you got
whatever
you got
gave,
two because you
whatever
got fucked over. So you either got
the ones you
well,
gave.
no, you gave. So what did you get? You didn't buy anybody anything. Oh no, you gave her Small Soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. So small. Yeah.
All right, there you go. We figured it out.
Yep.
Damn it! I didn't know that.
Well, whatever.
I had one all ready for my next pick.
Well, you gotta wait.
You gotta save
Once
it.
we
Damn
get
it!
through, the four we bought each other for the Christmas. Ridiculous. Box office that week, the top 10.
Did you guess these yet? Because we talked about it, where you were just gonna put the question in, and then you were gonna guess, and then we're gonna look it up after.
What?
Oh no, I hadn't done that.
What are you
yet.
talking
Oh,
about?
Yeah.
so basically, what he's trying to say is because I don't guess these things, I was going to
Oh.
have a cheat sheet, which I was going to make you guys, and I forgot too, right? To like give everybody
I
a
guess
sheet.
Wally's not joining us.
It's all good. I was going to give everybody a sheet that they could like look at our new note sheet, and then
Can we write this down so
do
she
whatever.
can cheat off me?
you do whatever you want.
Fucking
Yeah,
I
'cause
got my
smarter
note.
than
I
you.
got
how
my
many
note.
times? How many times have I stolen your answers?
Girl,
I know, right?
you don't
Well, no,
even
this is
know.
the top 10. I'm going to go through the top 10 that week. So we're changing
Oh.
the way
We're
things
not there
are.
yet. Sorry.
Right. The way things are done in the order. Because I'm thinking if I give you the top 10, that might help you with the budget or the box office.
Really, you think?
If a movie,
Let's try it.
if the movie's not in the top 10,
Let's
do you think
try
the
it.
budget, if you think the fucking box office is going to be big?
I was gonna say budget still.
Yeah, okay, budget
but
still.
box
but
office, maybe not.
All right, so top 10. Number 10, Joe versus the Volcano.
Fuck. Never heard of it.
Me neither. Number 9, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Never heard of it.
I seen the cover before, but I never
haven't
heard
watched
or
it,
seen it.
no.
Yeah.
What a solid year.
I know. Number 8.
This is why this movie did so well.
I know. There's
Well,
nothing else to compete with.
wait for the top 8. Number 8, The Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
That's a big movie.
That's a big movie.
That was the Sean Connery one,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
In the submarine.
Yeah. Number 7, one of my personal favorite movies of all time, which we almost covered and then I backed out at the last second. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I've never.
Stop.
Any
No.
of them?
I've seen the new one.
That
With
doesn't
Megan
count.
Fox.
That doesn't count. First of all, because garbage.
Get out of my house.
So here. It's funny that this
I'm
is.
serious, get out.
It's so funny that this is on this list because
Yeah.
I was actually talking to Carrick about that movie today when talking about Total Recall because he loves that movie.
I fucking love it.
Because come on, look, think about the
Turtles.
era that we
Ninja fucking
we
Turtles,
grew up
bro.
in. He loved the Ninja Turtles, and I said, look, for example,
Who's his Ninja Turtle?
Raph,
All right, I respect it, but he's wrong.
Leo.
It's
is,
Michael.
No,
It's
Leo.
Michelangelo.
Michael is
100%
the
Michelangelo.
child of the group.
100% why I picked Michael.
Leo is the
I've seen parts. I've just
Leo
never
is the
finished it.
leader of the group
I've never finished.
for a fucking reason.
Damn!
So like,
Yep.
but
It's Casey
I said
Jones.
to
Let's be
him,
real.
I said to him because he said, well, so you just don't like it because the acting is bad, and I said, no,
Acting's not that bad, but I get it.
it is, but I'm talking
These
about
men are in suits.
no,
Oh, Total Recall.
The acting is
okay.
bad.
Okay.
He's saying you're right because I said early on in the movie, like probably a half hour in, I was like, I can already tell I'm not going to like this movie because I'm not going to be able to get over the acting, and it wasn't just him.
Sharon Stone was great.
Okay. But he
the
said,
movie
you
was
just
10
can't get back past the acting. I said, no, I can get past the acting if I'm entertained by a movie.
Okay.
I said, and I used Ninja Turtles as an example. I said, you love the Ninja Turtles. I said, I won't even argue with you that it's a bad movie because it's not. I enjoy the Ninja Turtles, but let's be real, the acting is not great. It's not great. It's 90s acting. It's very like,
Are you talking the first Ninja Turtles?
yes.
I would say the acting in that movie is way better than the acting in 2 and 3.
Well, 2 and 3 were not good. Well, 3 was not good. 2 was okay.
2's my jam. I will watch 2 before I watch 1.
I hated
Yep.
that pizza kid in number 2. Like,
But you're
he
supposed
ruined
to.
the whole
You're
movie
supposed
for
to.
me. Like, I hated him so much. I wanted to punch him in the face as soon as he came on the screen. He was a little prick to those girls.
Yeah.
Right when he was on the scene, he's like 15 years old, whatever the fuck he is, and he called that girl fat. She wasn't even fat.
Right.
Just because she didn't want
You've seen the rundown,
to give him
right?
attention. Yes.
You know,
I
in the
know.
Rundown. And he's amazing in the
And I
Rundown.
like him in that.
I know.
But still.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. Like
I get it
on
wasn't
purpose.
him. He didn't write the script. Like he had to say that. But still, it made me not like him from the get go.
You're right. I don't like him in that movie, but he's there for a purpose, right? You're supposed to
No,
kind of
yeah,
hate
I
him.
know. He's supposed to be
So
annoying and he's supposed to
doing-
be pushy and
He's
stuff.
doing his job.
But to the point, I used that movie in compare because I was like, look, that wasn't great acting. That was 90s acting. There wasn't anything like you're not going to write home about the acting in those movies.
Well, I guess the difference,
but I
though,
still
is
enjoyed those movies.
you know the acting's not going to be good in Ninja Turtles.
But I'm also talking about the
But then you
the
cry
people.
when fucking Splinter's up there all like...
Yeah, well, and I'm also talking about the people, not just like the turtles. I was talking about like Casey Jones and April. Like they weren't terrible, but they weren't like it was very standard acting, is what I'm saying. It was very like basic level.
Yeah. You know who I hate? I hate the fucking kid in the first movie. The redheaded kid, no offense.
Oh, the boss's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
Fuck
too.
that kid.
Fucking idiot.
But again, that's the whole
Fuck
point of
them
the movie.
kids.
Well, because they're taking kids who are like
Right.
brats and stuff and using them to their advantage. Like,
Which is a great writing.
we
when
will
fix
give
that,
you
right?
a skating rink and a fucking
They had a cool ass hangout, let's be real.
arcade games.
For
and
whatever reason, in my mind,
beers.
so you know in Hook, like when they're like all chasing around.
I love that movie, and that's on my list.
Hook is the
That's
movie.
on my list.
You know the part where they finally bring him into Neverland and they're like making fun of him almost and like skating around him.
Yeah.
That setup and the setup in Ninja Turtles to me is like the same hangout, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like one's in the jungle, one's like in a
Yeah,
fucking
because
warehouse.
like it's kids and they're doing like their own thing.
Right.
But
Same era.
one is
almost,
jungle
too,
and
yeah.
one is yeah.
I don't know. Those two movies stick out to me as like I just want to hang out
But
with
I
those
also
kids.
I also brought up, and I know it was
I've
made.
never seen any of them.
I know it was made probably
wanna
like
see it.
2 years, 2.5 years after Total Recall.
Yep.
But I also brought up Jurassic Park to Carrick because he brought up Jurassic Park. He said that was one of the ones I watched a lot in the 90s when he was comparing. And I said, you cannot watch Jurassic Park and Total Recall and tell me that they are on the same scale of
anything.
anything. Like, there's no way.
No, completely.
And I
different.
was like, but that's my point. Like, they were good. Jurassic Park had good acting. The animatronics, like the
there's depth
shit
to
is
shit
good.
in Jurassic Park. There's no
Total
depth
Recall
in
was
Total
very
Recall.
on the surface, and it was very over dramatic and very like,
but on purpose, right?
which is what he kept saying.
Right.
Like, it was meant to be kind of campy.
But
and
you
like,
can't
sure.
put those two movies together and be like, oh well, this movie does this and this movie.
No,
They're
well,
the
and
same.
that's-
They're two different
No,
movies.
no, and that's what he said. But what I said I wasn't comparing them.
Oh, kid, what the fuck are you doing?
I wasn't comparing them as movies. He was using the 90s as an excuse. And I said, you can't, because there are 90s movies that are good. Like, you can't say, oh, it's just 90s acting, because there are plenty of 80s and 90s movies where they were
Right?
good.
At first, it was like, it's the same. What the fuck is he talking about? And then
So it is different. You feel like
and then
is
it
different.
stopped.
It's
And it's
not.
different.
It's not in your face.
Do you want to try it?
Wipe it. I got a full one right here. You can open and take
Yeah,
the
but I
first
don't
sip
want to
of.
waste it.
Oh, I mean, I'll drink it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's still so cold.
Oh my god.
Go on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
We're-
it's
the twisted
At
teas.
first, it tastes the same, and then you give it a second, breathe in after you swallow it,
Regurgitate it.
and then
I
you go.
breathe in.
That's
Breathe in. I
different.
like how you said after you swallow it. Like, don't inhale the tea.
Do not inhale it.
Do not inhale the
It's
tea.
not good for you.
Tea inhaled is not good for you.
Yes. See? And swallow, and then
Wait. It's different.
it's
It is different.
It is different. See?
And it's not as intense.
It's not as bad. And I think that if it
Yeah.
was, because the can is actually colder than what,
yeah,
than the
obviously, it's been
tea.
sitting here for a second.
I think like on ice or something, or like if it was
You'd be
cold,
fine,
I
yeah.
would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But I used to not like the raspberry at all.
Never mind.
It's not bad,
He
right?
said on ice, and I pictured you pouring that on ice, and I did. You don't do that, do you?
Sometimes if it's in one of these, I will, because I'm
pour it on
carrying it around. I want it to stay cold.
You put ice in first and then pour it, or do you pour it and put ice in?
Or you're saying I shouldn't ever drink them on
You
ice.
should never do that.
If
and
I'm
also
ordering them-
ice first.
No, if I'm
Are you a psychopath?
Always ice first.
Right.
if I'm buying them at the bar or something, I'm not
You didn't
asking
answer
for
it.
them
Ice
in a
first?
cup. Ice, obviously, ice first.
Okay.
I think she had to reevaluate her life.
Obviously, obviously,
Ice
ice first.
Okay.
Cereal, milk, or cereal first.
Cereal. If you say anything fucking other than that,
It's
Steve,
cereal first.
You put cereal first. But there was someone, I can't remember who it was, someone like famous, like Kylie Jenner or something, said that she does milk before cereal.
I think it was Jennifer. No, Jessica.
Biel.
Is it chicken or fish? Who am I
Oh,
thinking
the tuna chicken of the sea,
Right.
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, I
No,
think
it
was
because
her.
it was
That
more
shit
recent.
Was fucking hilarious.
No,
was
oh,
funny.
you know what? You know why I think it was Kylie Jenner? Because I think she posted like a story on her Instagram of her making cereal late at night. Like she was like, oh, late night cereal snack. And she poured the milk first and was
Canceled.
adding the cereal.
She
She's
out.
canceled.
She's
and adding
out.
the cereal. And her argument was so that you know, like, so you're not overdo, like,
I know how much
you're
milk
only
I'm
using
putting
the
in.
milk that you,
Did you want more?
put in there. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Go for it. Yeah,
You want it?
maybe.
We got more.
Take it. Get in there.
We got more
What do you
drink.
think?
Get in there.
We got more.
We got
drink.
more. Number 6.
Did we do what was number 7?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I thought it was 8. Oh, the first
Hunt for
well,
Red
the
October.
first
Yeah.
the first,
First
two,
two.
were garbage, so I was
Number
wrote
6.
them off.
Firebirds.
Nope.
I mean,
Wait, what was number
I
7?
don't want peach. Number
you,
7
man.
was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
You get original.
All right, I'll take original. Number 5, Cadillac Man.
I don't know what any of these movies are.
I don't either.
What is Firebirds? I don't know what that is.
Number 4, I guarantee you, with $100 bill, that you know this movie. Pretty Woman.
Wait, me or Randall?
Pretty Woman.
That is an amazing movie.
It's good.
No, it's amazing. Don't.
It's good.
It's so good. Because you know what? Sex workers are real people. Those are real jobs.
I didn't say that. By the
And
way,
I love Julia Roberts.
for New Year's, I went up to the National Harbor,
I saw.
and
Were there sex workers?
oh my God, they were everywhere.
Were they good? Like, were they attractive sex workers, or they were just
The
like
ones that I could tell were hookers? No. No, definitely not. But I'm sure there was
good
a
ones
lot.
you're not supposed to tell.
Exactly. I'm sure there was a lot more up there that we're getting paid.
But
a
like
top
Julia
dollar.
Roberts was like, she was in that movie, even though she was a hooker, she was like the girl next door. You know what I mean? She was very like,
Or wasn't she a new hooker?
she was relatively new because
Right.
she needs to make money.
So
But
she didn't look.
But what I mean
Used
is,
and
like, even
abused
when
yet.
they're hanging out, like, she didn't care that he was rich. She didn't care that, like, it was a job. She was sitting on his table. She was just sitting on the floor eating snacks, watching
Right.
I Love Lucy. Like, she was like, whatever. And
I do love Lucy.
also, there are not a lot of like, petty scenes that stand up to her going back to that fucking store where the ladies gave her shit and being like, you work on commission, right? Big mistake.
Right.
I have to go shopping now. I just walk out the door. Fuck those bitches.
Fuck them bitches.
They were rude.
All right, top 3. I'm going to tell you what's in the top 3 in no particular order, and then you have to guess what order they are in.
Oh my god.
You can write it down if you want.
writing it down.
Okay, you do.
I want to
you.
use this thing.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. Speaking of, we have child e-reader tablets, whatever, that we are going to incorporate a game. This game,
Is
a
it time?
trivia
Oh,
game.
we're doing it?
We
Is it time?
could if you want. So the new game in this is whoever's pick of the movie it is at any point in the episode can grab out of our pile of TV and movie trivia
I got fingerprints
questions.
on mine, Randall.
Now the problem is we don't have anything. Oh, okay. No, we do have something to take a shot of. Whoever gets
No,
it wrong,
I don't like that rule.
whoever gets it wrong takes a shot of the old smoky moonshine.
Yeah.
Hunch punch.
But that's Randall's present.
That's
Whatever.
okay.
It's a
I was
sip.
gonna,
It's a sip.
I was gonna put it up for grabs anyway.
That's fine. That's fine.
Not grabs. but
I
for
don't
this
like
game.
straight shots. You guys are gonna make me throw
That's-
up on this show.
That's unfortunate. Because here we
Wait,
are.
we're doing this first?
Okay, but again, let me explain the rules. At any time in the episode, whoever's pick it is of the movie also gets a
draw
pick
a
of the
card.
TV and movie trivia card off the table.
And you can
Anytime
pick
they
it
want.
whenever. You can do more than one too, right?
You can just do one an
Just do one.
episode,
Oh,
right?
So these are gonna
That's
last
less fun.
all year.
that's less fun.
Plus
And
some.
there's 2 questions on each of these to ask, and you can pick
so you
any
can-
of the questions.
But you can't
we're
do
only
both.
doing
can't do
one question?
both. Only one question.
Okay.
Lame.
Now, looking at this, there's one question on here that I know both of you should get. There's another question on here that I think only one of you should get.
Oh, do that one.
Who directed the 1985 movie The Breakfast Club? And you got to write it down and lock in your answers.
There's no way.
There's
You're
no
not going to see
chance.
anything on this.
Did you write it?
No, I don't have no idea what to write.
No idea.
No idea who wrote who directed The Breakfast Club.
I
Who
kn-
was a big 80s director of that type of movie?
I don't know directors.
I don't either. I'm really bad
So
at directors.
clearly you're supposed to know this.
I know he thinks I'm supposed to know this
All right.
because I
Because-
do love the
Can we do
Breakfast
the other
Club.
question?
I do
I want
love
the other one.
I love the Breakfast Club, but I've never been good at directors. Unless it's like the big ones, like current, like Michael Bay.
Well, so
like
all right,
that.
all right. Because I know, and because Wally's not here, so we can't do the full.
He would've
question.
gotten that one.
He probably would have gotten this. I'm gonna give you this one.
I feel
which-
like as
Okay,
soon
cool.
as you, if you told me, it would be like fucking duh, Terry, you're so stupid. But
John Hughes. Right?
Duh, Taylor,
Right?
you're so
shut up, Randall. You
stupid.
don't even know who he is.
Okay.
I have no idea.
if you don't get this question, something's wrong with you. If you don't get this question, you can leave this house. Who was Ross's first ex-wife in the TV series
please.
Friends?
Oh please,
Oh, fuck.
Should I put this back on?
Randall.
Fuck me.
And we're getting demonetized because this song is on our podcast now. Actually, I think this is a free domain.
Fuck. Fuck.
Dum, bum. What is it? What do you got? Show your answers.
Oh, I did
What did you read?
extra answers too.
You got put it up.
I should have just put lesbian.
Carol, lesbian. I forgot. Well, Tara
Susan.
got it.
I remembered Susan.
She married
I knew
Susan,
that wasn't right.
and she had a son named Ben.
It is
with Ross.
Carol. So I guess you're taking the shot of the old hunch punch.
I wrote Carol lesbian because there is an episode where Rachel goes by
This isn't a full shot.
and
is it?
she's like,
No.
and Ross is like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "I'm just here to visit my good friend Susan." And Ross goes, "Your good friend. What's her last name?" And she goes, "Carol, lesbian."
Look at that. What's the chances that I would pull a friends card?
I mean, it was pretty popular TV show.
I mean, I
so-
agree. I agree.
God, that is
I guess we'll just keep that here until it's done, right?
I am
That
so disappointed in you.
that is one. Fuck Carol. She was rude.
Number one, fuck Carol.
She
Look,
wasn't rude.
look at
She
this.
was very rude.
The first Carol was rude. The original actress
Yeah,
in the
her.
first or then the second episode of the show before they
obviously
changed her.
change,
Obviously. So
She was rude.
top 3 that week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna list them in no particular order, and then you have to tell me what order they're in. Total Recall. Bird on a Wire.
I don't even know what that is.
Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh fuck.
Bird on a Wire is in its 3rd week. Back to the Future 3 is in its 2nd week. Total Recall obviously is in its 1st week.
I don't even know what bird.
Bird on a Wire, no idea either. So we're gonna go to Tara first.
Okay, I'm gonna do Bird on the Wire 3.
Okay.
Total Recall 2. Back to the Future 3. Number 1.
Okay.
Because, and I want to say, I know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is big, so
Yeah.
Total Recall could very well be number 1 on this. But Back to the Future was a really successful movie series, so I feel like
It being in its
people
2nd
were
week.
going to
It's-
come.
yeah,
People
I
were
got
going
it,
to
I
go
got
see.
you. What do you got there, Randall? Look, he wrote it down. He's going Total Recall number 3, Bird on a Wire number 2, and 1 Back to the Future.
Final answer.
Oh, you're
Alex.
you're both wrong.
Fuck.
So it is number 1, Total Recall, number 2, Back to the Future, and number 3, Bird on a Wire.
So
now,
that's why I said that, because I could have seen it going the other way, but
Damn it.
When
with
I look-
Total Recall being in its 1st week.
when I looked it up, Total Recall and Back to the Future were super close.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's
And that was the 2nd week for Back to the Future?
correct.
And they were that close.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Damn.
saying. But I
And
mean,
I'm pretty sure Back to the Future went number
back
1
up.
again
So
after.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that, because Back to
I
the
just said the
Future
wrong
just
week.
by the franchise itself, like, was going to pull people. So
To be fair,
To be
the
fair.
3rd movie was not as good as
no,
1 or
but that's
2.
that's what I mean. Just pulling people to see it is
For sure,
like,
for sure. I do enjoy the 3rd movie. I would give that an 8 out of 10.
I don't even
and
remember
would
the third
give
one, I'm gonna
Number
be honest
2
with
at an
you.
11 out of 10.
That's the one where they go to the
Number
Wild
1,
Wild
10.
West, right?
Oh, Wiki Wild.
I don't even
West.
remember that one, to be honest with you.
It's honestly, if you were to watch it now, you would probably enjoy that movie the most because it's like the most fun. But for me, obviously everybody knows number 2 is the best movie.
I think I've seen 1 and 3. I don't think I've ever seen 2.
Oh yeah, you're lucky we didn't do what I wanted to do for our episode 100.
He wanted to do all of them.
I want to do all 3.
That would have been fine.
I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
Well,
We can do it again.
I
We
honestly,
can always
I would
do
have
it
rather
whenever.
watched all 3 of those than Total Recall.
We can always have a special
So.
episode.
did you end up watching Ready to Rumble?
I
You
did.
fucking watch.
No, I did. I did watch it.
Was that the
'Cause
first
it
time you
wasn't
ever
until-
watched it?
Why
No,
didn't
but
you
it
say
had been.
anything?
But it had been a long
Why didn't
time.
you say you weren't going to be here?
She was sick.
I said I was. Were you not
You
on?
said maybe, and then you just never
Oh, I
said anything
text.
back.
Well, I was texting Steve separately
I feel,
too.
I feel
but
like she fell asleep and then
That's
there
what I
was
think.
a,
I was very. I was.
she was
You're
out.
probably out.
And it lasted the whole week. Like,
Oh, I don't know.
I thought, like, when I first was texting and while he was like, "Oh, me too," like, I thought, okay, well, it's going to be a couple days of just the sore throat, and then it just then the next or that night, congestion, just like
congealed in my
Oh,
lungs.
like I had to start sleeping in the guest room because I was coughing so much while I was sleeping. Like I
Say
wasn't
that
getting
again?
any
You
sleep.
were doing what?
I went and I slept in the guest room because I was coughing so much.
Coughing. You said coughing
Coughing so much.
because he's a quap.
You say coughing?
Are you a
Are
cough?
you a quap?
Do you say coughing?
No, I said coughing
She said
Did
coughing.
you say coughing?
because I was coughing.
I heard
so
I was
much.
You were
coughing so much.
You were coughing. You said it again. You did.
That was coughing so
You
much.
say cough.
I like it.
That was
Cough.
Keep it always.
Coughing.
I cough.
Coughing.
I just
Why would I
cough.
say that? I don't even say anything
I don't know,
else.
it's funny.
With that.
It's like me. I have an accidental Christopher Walken every time. It's crazy. Like it just comes out.
Are you a cop?
Exactly. Budget time. What do we think it costs to make Total Recall? Tara first.
You can't pick it back off me. I'm gonna get
Randy
it, I'm
first
gonna get it
now?
wrong. No.
No, not me.
32 mil.
32 million. All right. Tara's just shaking her
What's
head
up?
like, I don't
What's
know.
up with it?
32.
Yes.
I'm double that and say 60.
60. Okay, so here's an issue. I should have said this probably before.
Oh.
It's a between number. It's an estimated from this to this.
Oh, we don't know the exact.
We do not know the
32 to
exact.
64.
All right, there you go. That's what I was gonna say. Do we want to go and put a little?
No, then I'm saying 60 to 70.
Okay. So the actual budget
Well, hold
is
on.
in
Give
the
me,
range.
give me a 10. I'm gonna do a 10s because she did 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna do 10.
Yeah, 20. Why would you
35
think
to
that that's?
45.
Okay.
I was combining our fucking answers, Tara. It's a team effort.
It's not supposed to be a team effort. It's a
it could be
competition.
whatever he wants. So the budget is actually in a wider.
How can they do that? How is it that far
How do
off?
they
I don't
not
know.
know?
But the budget is estimated from 48 to 80 million. That's a big
We're
gap.
both close.
I
guess.
but I fell into
Well, I
it
said
and you
45.
did not.
That's what a 30.
So you're not in the gap.
That's what a $32 million.
You said 70 to 80.
But my first answer was 60.
Right. I mean,
I
you're,
was closer.
you guys are in it, but you're not. But
Fuck,
you
no,
are.
you
You
were
know.
closer.
Wait,
If it's
it was
80,
what? It was 40.
48 to 80 million is
So
the estimate.
both of my answers were in the gap.
in the gap. Anyways,
I win.
that's a big gap to be in, right? To like, it's somewhere in here. So either there was some red tape that was
Big gap
taken
to
out.
be in, yet Randall didn't fall into
I
it.
know, right?
So
I mean, he was in it sort
What?
of.
No.
He said 40. It's sort of there.
I said 45.
45.
yeah, but it was
35 to 45.
48.
All right, whatever.
Still missed it by 3 mil.
I win. It's
All right,
fine.
box office. What do we think then it made?
Probably,
Yeah, you little
probably so much.
Punk ass Tara. Go
It
ahead.
is. It is Arnold, right? Like
probably so much
you
money.
have to say even
Also, weird budget because usually we also go by the budget, and so
True.
the budget is like not certain.
175.
175.
175.
All right.
I don't know. Wouldn't give it that much, but maybe. I'm gonna say. Oh my god, that's so weird with the budget because I usually at least like for movies like this double it, but now I don't know what I'm doubling.
Wait, box office that weekend.
I'm not gonna give you any context clues other than Arnold.
Yeah, I know.
That's all you need in 1990. Put him in a movie.
Yeah, but 175 sounds like so much to me.
Wait,
That is a lot of money. What?
nothing. Fuck it.
What are you gonna say?
Nothing.
I'm gonna say.
sticking to
I'm
my
gonna
guns.
say
Sticking
one.
to
I'm
it.
gonna
State of
say
my guns.
130.
130. Opening weekend, it made $25.5 million. Overall box office, $261.4 million.
Jesus Christ, that's Marvel numbers.
That's
My
a lot.
God,
That's a lot. In
That's
1990.
too much.
So think about what that translates to today.
No,
That's
it's
probably like
too much.
I will do the
400.
math. Don't worry.
It's too much, is what it is.
Do you think it is?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think that it is.
Let's be real. This is a big budget summer blockbuster movie that has Arnold in it. People are
Here's
going
what
to
makes
see
me.
it.
But here's what makes me upset about
What
that.
else was there?
much
Here's
is
what
it?
makes me upset about that.
261.
Here's what makes me upset about that. Okay. Yeah, just that week, not later around that time. Here's what makes me upset about that.
$595 million.
Is people went and saw that and then went home and were like, "This is the greatest movie ever," which then
I
got
would
more
have
people to
done
see
that.
it, and that's what makes me upset.
I would have done that too
what makes
because
me
I still
upset
do
about
that. I bought this movie for him
Oh.
because I love this movie.
When Carrick saw I was watching this, he was like, "Oh,
right,
wow,"
and he
I
sat
was
down
like,
and went, "I'm watching this now because it's amazing." Welcome to the party,
The
Victor.
first time Carrick saw it, he was 7 years old. I
Yeah.
was like, no wonder you thought that was a good fucking movie.
Every
Like,
movie I've
you
seen, I was 7
You
years
had
old.
never seen a movie like this before in your life.
All right, well,
Literally your
hold on.
life.
Let's go to the Roddy T score, the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Well, based on the
The
box office,
tomatometer.
they're probably high.
What do we think the critics gave this movie out of 100%? Tara.
I
Use
hate
your
this.
gut.
I
Use your
hate
gut.
this because I have to say what I think they did and not what I did because I would give it so much less.
Well, so that's what the audience scores, right?
No, because clearly the audience. I mean,
Just because they went and saw it didn't mean they liked it.
come on, you don't make
83.
that much money.
83%. Okay. What do you
I
think?
feel like it was
critics gave
high. I
don't
feel
know.
like it was really high.
That's a high number, and that's a B.
78.
78. Critics gave it. Are you ready? For the first time ever, Randy, 83%.
Fuck yeah.
Look at this guy.
He Googled.
If I Googled it, I would have got the other answers right too.
I know, right?
Not if you only looked at IMDb.
Fully commit.
Okay, what do you,
mean, Roddy
hold on.
T's.
Let's see if he goes 2 for 2. Audience score. Because now he's like, oh, yeah, she knows I looked it up, so I'm going to fudge this one. Audience score. What do you think?
But
they
if I get it
that?
right, you're going to say the same thing. So
Yeah,
it really
what are you
doesn't
trying to
matter.
mind fuck me?
71.
Hope you wearing a condom because I got a dirty mind. What'd you say? 71.
71.
83. That's so sad.
Is it? though?
Yeah. Okay, well then I'll go with 78 for audience since I said 78 for critics in it.
Okay. Audience score.
Hit.
79.
Damn.
You got it almost there, right there.
I'm not happy about it.
I'm not
because
happy about it, but I give you-
disappointed.
It's fuck texting you right now.
Is it
Wally,
Walter?
I don't know. He might have gotten on Discord. He just said open that present, but I'm not going to. IMDb.
No,
He
you
says
have
it.
to open it. Wait, get him on here and open it because you have to open it.
He said he's not going to make it. IMDb
Oh.
score 7.5.
It's always the same. Like around.
It's close. I
around
think the
audience.
IMDb score
Walter.
is where it's at to me.
Like closer.
Yeah.
to
That's
accuracy.
yeah, like
It's what we feel.
Yeah, all the
The
tomatometer
tomatoes.
is always like, you know, like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's where it's at, but a lot of times I'm like,
Nah, bro.
the fuck are you guys smoking? Like it's way off. So IMDb
Agree.
always kind of brings it back in for me. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's high too.
Yeah. So who is your favorite character
Oh
in the
god.
movie? You got to have one.
Triple boob girl.
I mean, she was a character. Let's be real though. She actually played an integral part.
She
in the plot.
died.
Yeah, she got shot
sad.
through the middle titty.
So what I would have said, I was going to say the taxi driver, but then he
Turned out to be a
was a
piece
traitor.
of shit.
So,
Benny.
Fuck
but that's
him.
who I was going to
And his
say.
stupid-ass gold teeth.
I picked him as my favorite character as I was watching because I didn't like any of the main characters. So I picked him, and then I'm watching. I was like, well, of course, the one fucking character in this movie that I was going to give my sign off to, and
My 5 kids. I thought you said you had 6.
no, it's 4.
Whatever.
He said 4, and he said, I thought you said 5.
Whatever.
I liked Arnie. For once.
Arnold?
Yep.
You said Ernie.
No, he
said
said
Arnie.
Arnie.
I swear I heard Ernie. Whatever.
Arnie.
So you like
Arnie.
Arnold
I
in
did.
this. You like
he
Quaid,
was,
huh?
He was getting shafted a lot, but he wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't know much of what he was going through because I had no fucking idea what was happening in this movie.
Okay.
This movie. How? What is that?
The hand.
It was an alien
It was
hand.
the alien hand.
I don't remember that.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God,
the
that's
end of the
like
movie.
The whole end of the movie.
The whole idea of the movie is these aliens made a way to terraform or create an atmosphere on Mars,
A
but they
livable
never,
executed.
thank you, made it for whatever reason. He goes and turns the machine on to
At
then
the end.
create the atmosphere for all these people who are suffocating for what seems like
Because
30 minutes.
because
it
what they
was.
were also
Oh.
doing is they were taking advantage and they were like building places and you had
Right,
you
right.
had to have this much money and blah blah
Correct,
blah blah.
yeah.
When if you make the atmosphere able for it, then anyone can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Like I said, this
get it
movie
now.
is very, I don't want to say smartly written, but there's a lot of good ideas here, right? Like what you just said, like with everybody saying, hey, we're rich. You're going to live the way we want you to live because what are you going to do? You're here. We control everything. Or like the whole, like the 2 weeks scene. To me, that's amazing. The part where he
Oh my
puts
God,
on
the
the
woman.
woman's head and goes through
Oh, yeah.
the
2
fu-
weeks.
It's
Did you bring any
hilarious.
fruit?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Now
oh
you
my
know
god, when her
sometimes when I say
face
2
starts.
weeks.
So here was my thing when there were a lot of like stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
even with Arnold, where it was very clearly a fake
Well,
face.
yeah, it's
and
1990.
it drove me fucking nuts
like
because
when he
it
pulled the
looked
thing
so
out of his nose.
gross.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was
because the
like,
fake faces were really like
Again,
Clay.
it's
bad and
1990.
gross. Here's okay. On that note, I have another thing to say, and Carrick tried to explain it to me, but I don't think it's true. In the end of the
be the judge
movie,
of that, yep.
in the end of the movie, when the bad guy flies out of the building,
Cohagen.
and he's out in the Mars atmosphere, and you know he's imploding basically, and his eyes pop out and everything. He
Yeah.
dies. So when Arnold and
Arnold
Merlina,
impersonation. Yep, Melina.
yeah,
Sure.
fly out of the building,
Mm-hmm.
that they're going through the same thing, takes them longer
Mm-hmm.
to get through what the same guy went through. Also, as soon as the atmosphere changed, everything just went back to normal.
So here's my counter to that. I think this is a dream, and he is dying on the table, being lobotomized, like they said would happen.
That would make more sense.
And that's why there's a lot of stuff that happens, which if you pay attention to when he's like creating what he wants to do, you know, do you want the blonde or the brunette? Do you want the what does he say? Not slutty
Sleazy.
or whatever, sleazy. Yeah. What does he get? He gets everything he
Well,
asks
that's what the
for.
doctor shows up and says. Like, look, you did this, blah, blah, blah.
Correct. And he shoots him in the head, but is okay. Yeah, he's sweating, but that could be part of the dream. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things
He
that count.
wanted him to be sweating.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of things that contradict each other to make you think, well, it is a real thing, but is it? Right? And I think that's the genius
Do
of
we
the movie.
have an answer?
No,
No,
there's no
there's
answer.
Still
not.
no answer?
There's
there's
no
not an
answer. Paul Verhoeven
It's
has come
been
out and
t-
said, "You make the answer."
35 years.
30.
What year are we in?
We're in 2022. This came out.
Ah.
32
We're
years.
in
No, we're in
2023 actually,
2023.
Shit. Well, let's be real. I don't. I always think like the first couple months you're not in the year.
Couple
yet,
months? Months?
You know? Like January, February, you're not in the year. You know what I mean? You can't say like
Well,
it's
no.
been 23
Technically,
You
years.
would say the
Technically-
first week or two, but months? You better
Technically,
know by
2
February.
days ago, we were in the year.
No.
You
I'm
better
saying,
know by February that it's 2023.
I know that. I'm saying if you're trying to say like, oh, it's been 23 years since 2000. No, it's been 22 years and like 2 months. Once you get like a couple of months into 2023,
Well, the movie came out
you
in
could say-
June, so it's been like 22 and a half. No,
That's what I'm saying.
32
It's-
and a half months.
Right. It's not 33 years yet. It's 32. Let's be real. If you want to,
Say 32 and a half months.
Years.
years. It's an old movie, motherfucker. In my brain, it's not, right? Like, I remember watching this in like 92 or something
That's what
when I was like
Carrick
seven.
said
I
he
was like
watched
2.
it with his dad at 7.
4.
I said, your dad took you to see this movie when you were 7 fucking years old?
Yeah.
6 or 7 years old? And he was like, yeah.
I remember walking downstairs and my
Oh
dad
my
was watching
God.
Starship Troopers, and I was like, this is amazing.
So okay. That's what I wanted to say earlier. That was one of Carrick's other arguments when I was like, this is so like bad. I'm laughing at parts that should be serious. And Carrick's like, no.
That's the point of-
That's the point.
Yeah.
Because he said he also did Starship Troopers. And I said, sure. Starship Troopers was obviously meant to be stupid funny. Like,
But a lot of people did not take it that way.
I
And that's
don't
why
get
that
that.
movie
It's
sort of
very
bombed.
super. I mean, which
book-
even Carrick agreed. Carrick was like, yeah, it was more obvious in that one, but it was supposed to be the same in this one where it is supposed to be kind of campy and like,
Right. Yeah. Starship Troopers was making fun of, or I can't remember the correct word, but poking fun at military
Mm-hmm.
and like Nazism and stuff like that, where everything is all about being in the military.
but I
and
just feel
killing
like when
things.
you're watching that movie, it should be very obvious. Like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, this is.
I mean,
This is a
Arnold
joke.
pulling a giant glowing orb out of his nose. Is this
But
serious?
that could be, yes, that could be.
There's a
was
fucking
huge.
alien. The dude opens his chest and he comes out. He's
That was
fucking
gross.
Quattro.
by
It's
the way. That was so
hilarious.
gross. It's not funny. It's gross.
Quaid.
But that's what I'm saying. The parts of the movie that I think were meant to be funny did not make me laugh. But then the parts of
love
the
this
movie,
movie,
the
man.
parts
It's
of the
so
movie that
stupid.
I
I
think were
love it.
supposed to be serious, I was
Yeah.
laughing at because it was so bad
Yeah.
when it was supposed to be serious.
This movie's not serious.
Like the fight scenes and stuff. Like, why
There's
are
a-
you groaning when you're just rolling across the floor?
Any
Like,
movie.
The women fighting. I was like, what the fuck?
Any movie that has a 3-titted woman for a joke in it is not a serious movie. There's a midget hooker in this movie.
And you saw her butt.
Yeah, and she was kicking ass. You see her on that fucking bar with that machine gun, just
so
like,
here's
killing it.
Here's the other thing. Carrick was like, Carrick goes, okay, Bad Boys and
The
Bad
midget
Boys
butt?
2. He said Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 are action movies, but there's comedy in it. I said, but there's obvious comedy in that. Like those are they're making jokes while they're
Yeah.
fighting. The fighting is not funny. They're making jokes while they're fighting.
But you know, going in, I'm watching a Will Smith, Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Lawrence.
So
Are
you know
To
it's
that,
jokey.
to that point, though, my other argument was you're also watching actors in an action movie. Like they were good in their roles.
Yeah, I mean,
This movie was not that.
it's a Paul Verhoeven movie. Like, you've seen RoboCop before, right? Yeah. Same. Well, it's not the same thing, but it has the same elements of.
I think he was just a big fan of Arnold, and he just kept making movies
Funny thing. Well, we'll get to it
because
in my
you have.
fun
Because
facts.
I feel like that's the only movies he succeeds in are movies that are kind of like campy.
Not necessarily. I mean,
What do you mean by campy?
Do you not know what campy means?
No.
Okay.
I think of a fucking camp.
Brown.
Like
No,
you're
that's
camping.
not what it
No.
means.
So campy is like dumb fun that's being
Like
played
on
you.
purpose.
Why is that campy?
That's
What the
just that's the
fuck
word.
does that
That's the
mean?
word for it. It's campy.
Campy.
Who the fuck came up with that?
I don't know, but that's the word for it.
Dumb.
But it is. But
like
it is. It's
whimsical.
campy.
You know what whimsical means, right?
That would have been a lot better
So
word.
but
but
whimsical is different.
campy is not whimsical. Campy is like serious whimsical, like whimsical that you're passing off as
Whimsical is Disney funny. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Okay.
Like. Here, I'll look up the actual definition.
Camping.
Yeah, to
No,
campy.
campy.
I know. I meant to say camping. I'm sorry.
Camping
Campy
is a different thing.
reminds me of camping.
But
But
you're-
you're drunk as fuck around a fire, out in nature.
I mean, okay, hold on.
And you're
So
in
I mean,
nature.
think of, okay, you're being drunk as fuck out Read it.
Use the adjective campy to describe something that has a ridiculous or wacky appeal. Some movies are so exaggeratedly bad that they've got a campy kind of charm. So bad, it's good.
Right. Evil Dead 1 and 2, fucking Army of Darkness is the campiest movies you can get because they're not a good movie, but they're good because they're fucking
See, you
bad.
just said
Also,
the
just
word
so you-
campy a different way, which made me think of it a different way.
What did
So
I
just
say?
so you know,
Campy.
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 Baby.
It makes it sound like a different word.
just so you know, the word campy emerged in the 1950s. So it's not a new slang or
That's
something.
fine. That's fine.
boomers.
But I think the way it was being said tonight was campy. Like camp E.
Campy. That's the way you pronounce it, is campy.
But he said it campy.
Campy.
So it made it a different word for me.
Okay,
and
whatever.
I
So
understand
some
that.
synonyms of campy are insincere, la-di-da, melodramatic.
La-di-da.
Mm-hmm.
That's a word.
La-di-da. Yeah, like it's la-di-da.
Is that a word? Like an actual word?
La-di-da.
That's an actual word. Okay.
Okay. My favorite character in this movie is obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is putting in his best work with campy movies. He's being the campy character he's trying to then traject into the 90s.
That was his best work?
I don't think it's his best
what you
work.
just
His
said.
best work is
You just said
true.
his best work.
I said his best work up until this point, kind of into the 90s, right? So he's changing. So his 80s thing was he was kind of like competing with Sylvester Stallone to be the macho fucking guy in
Stallone
action
is, but the
movies.
Stallone to me is the same thing. He was an action star. He was not an actor. Like
100%.
He's a lot better actor.
Sylvester Stallone
better
is a
than
lot better
Arnold.
actor,
But what
yes.
I'm saying is he was not like, at least in the early stages, in a lot of the early stages of his career, and a lot of those early movies, the Rambo stages, like those things.
Right, but what I'm
You're
saying,
not watching him for
no,
that.
You're watching
him
the action.
for
right. So Arnold transitioned from here into funny movies, right? So you're looking at him in a different way because again,
like
you haven't
Twins
seen him.
and what's the one where he's
Junior.
pregnant? Junior.
I love Junior. That movie's so. Again, it's hard.
I
to
don't buy
explain.
him as a scientist, though. Is the problem? Like,
That's what's
he's
funny about it. He's
so
wearing a coat and he's fucking ripped and he has those glasses and you're just like, whatever you say, man. He's like, I'm gonna go get fucking pregnant. It's gonna be fine. You know, it's funny. That's the whole point.
Sure.
But if you who's the biggest
This is the
action?
second
Hold on,
Arnold movie I've
hold on,
seen.
hold on. Who's the biggest action star in your mind right now? The Rock.
Action star?
But The Rock is.
I mean, he is right now.
The Rock is who he is because of Arnold. Without Arnold, The Rock would not be popular.
And John Cena is who he is because of The Rock.
Biggest action
Like
star.
serious action star. Who can you think of?
See, I don't even, and that's
There's
the thing
nobody.
is, I wouldn't classify The Rock as a serious action star
He's
because
not.
because
It's
outside
a
of
comedy. There's a lot of
outside of
comedy.
like the Scorpion King and the Mummy, those roles he played.
Yeah.
The other movies that are still action movies, like The Rundown and Jumanji and stuff, they're still funny. Like I like that. I like that he can bring more to the role than just being this buff action guy.
To me, probably between Liam Neeson and Keanu Reeves. Biggest actual action stars.
So, if you
Biggest
were to take
actual-
if you were to take Liam Neeson right now, right? Because let's be real, what movie have you seen him be funny in? And all of a sudden, he starts going and making funny movies while still being like serious about
That'd be
it
dumb.
until it's funny.
I have a different example.
Okay,
Mark
You
Wahlberg.
don't like mine too?
okay.
Mark
He's not
Wahlberg.
in the act.
No, listen. All of his movies before were very were serious roles. They were like the shooter type stuff, like military movies.
movie.
What
And
was
then
the one with Reese Witherspoon where he like raped her? Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bully.
Not watching that.
But those
want to.
those were the movies that
One part.
that he was doing. They were like
That's fucked up.
And then he does the other guys.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
opens him up
Yeah.
to do Ted
Right.
and to do Pain and Gain and like all those movies like that.
There is a
To
shit
me,
on my floor.
that is an obvious transition. When he did that movie with Will Ferrell, when they were advertising that movie, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Say hi to your mother.
Mark Wahlberg, and he was funny. Like he did a
was,
good
he was.
job.
Yeah, I
I'm a
remember
peacock.
that. I remember that.
Gotta let me fly. So
Yeah.
you got to think that's the same kind of transition that happened. Good analogy. That was good.
But Arnie didn't do it that well.
You don't know. You haven't watched them.
You haven't watched all what he goes into,
care.
and you haven't seen what came before it. So Predator, Terminator 1 and 2
I obviously have to watch.
are the best action movies that have been ever made. You can sit here and say, I don't agree
That
with that.
sounds like a you.
No, it's not.
It's based off this. This movie was a big. Total
Google
Recall
that
was
shit.
huge.
Terminator 2
No, that's not what I'm
is
looking at. Back.
the
Best
best
action movies.
action movie. It is within the top 3
Of
of
all
all time. Do it. Any fucking...
Those aren't in. Those probably aren't in an order though. Like when they put.
It doesn't
them up
mean
here.
to be order.
No,
It's
I'm
just-
saying
yeah.
when they just put them, you have to look for an actual list. The Rolling Stones
50
probably
best.
a good one.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that one.
Terminator 2 will be in the top fucking 3. Aliens will be in there as well.
50. Okay, we started
Yeah,
50.
I hate that they do that.
I know. Start at number 1. I don't give a
Or
fuck
at least
about the
give
other
me
ones.
links to go to the.
All right, number 1 for best action movie
You might have to go to a
via
page.
Rolling Stone.
Might not have put that.
Mad Max.
That's
Fury,
a newer
Fury
one.
Road, 2015.
Die Hard.
Yeah, okay.
Die Hard.
Sure.
Number 2. Number 3. John Wick.
Okay,
don't agree
this
with
is a
that.
problem because there are a lot of newer ones
Yeah,
that were
Rolling
huge.
Stone really fucked this up. What is the number 1 action movie? How
Because
about that?
John Wick was huge.
Okay, so these are the older. Aliens, Seven Samurai,
Some
The Wild
sounds
Bunch,
good. The Wild Bunch is good.
Police Story.
Police Story. Never heard
I
of that.
don't know
These
what
these
that
are
is.
all like I don't want to say Asian
Well,
movies.
so here's
but
the thing. It's the same thing when like something stupid like this article ranks Taylor Swift's albums. It's going to be based on who wrote that article.
100%.
Like-
But for the most part, Terminator 2 and Predator are up at the top of all action.
One, because here's the other thing
all.
too: is some of these lists could be basing it off of box office. Some of these lists could be basing it off of their ratings. Some of the lists could be basing it off of personal opinions and voting.
Classic action.
I'm going to say
movies.
this. Terminator 2 is my all-time favorite action movie, and I don't even like action movies.
You don't?
Not really. I like a good comedy. I like a good stupid movie, as you guys have seen. I love shit movies.
So I looked up best classic action movies of all time. Starts with Independence Day.
But this is not a list. They're just
They're just putting movies on there. Yeah, Terminator 2 for sure. gonna
It's
be
on there.
Yeah.
It's in
Now here's the thing.
1990s action movies.
Arnold Schwarzenegger does not act in that movie.
Matrix. Is on there.
Matrix is a great movie.
Con Air, Fight
Fight
Club.
Club.
Con
Fight
Air's
Club.
great.
Fight Club.
Have you seen this stuff?
Such a good movie.
Courtney Love is coming out for some reason now, saying that Brad Pitt got her fired off of Fight Club because she didn't want him to play Kurt Cobain in that movie she made.
I mean, do whatever you got to do to keep yourself relevant, I guess.
Like, yeah, like what? Like she was like, heat loud, blah, 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 like got me fired off Fight Club.
Can I open it while he's present?
And I was like,
That's for me.
in my mind,
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
for you.
Yeah.
For you.
You
Yes.
would have made that
open it.
movie
From
worse.
No, no.
Like,
Open
sit
that
down.
shit.
I'll do not on the podcast. I'll do it later. So my favorite character, like I said, was Arnold. Do we have a favorite scene in this movie?
When he was going up the escalator and started shooting the fuck out of people, and he was using the one bystander as a fucking guard, he was getting lit up.
The action in this movie is great. Let's be real. Like the squibs. Sorry, I didn't mean to shoot at you there.
Yeah, we're right
myself.
there, we're right there.
The squibs where people are getting shot and like the blood's coming out.
There's
It's like
so
it's
much.
thick
And
though.
they said, fuck the bystander. Let's just light him up.
yeah. Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was like, they stepped on another one. They stepped on like the,
That was one of their people.
Yeah, one of their people.
They didn't
stepped
care.
on again. Fuck.
I love it. I love this
what?
movie. I love how over the top and stupid it is. I love the fact that, like I said, all the action set pieces are just like well done and well thought out. You know what I mean? Even though they look a little like goofy at times, but I think that's the charm of it. You can fucking sit here and say that. You got any favorite parts or scenes? Nothing at all. You went and said
It's hard. It was
You're gonna say
it
it's a
was
hot
hard.
mess? Hard.
to pick a favorite movie or a favorite scene. But I was thinking about it just now because I wanted to talk about that one, and that's probably my favorite scene. Because
So you're
just 'cause
saying
it's
all
crazy,
the
but there's a lot of other scenes in the movie that was just, it's too hard to pick because it's not that good of a fucking movie, Steve.
so there's not a good one-liner in this movie that you're like, all right, yeah.
No.
So you're saying the part where Benny's getting drilled by that drill and Arnold's saying, screw you, while he's drilling him is not hilarious.
No, that wasn't funny to me.
That's amazing.
Because the delivery wasn't good.
I like how the noise gate cut out.
The what?
The noise gate.
The noise gate cut
Or
you
how
out
about when he
completely.
shoots his wife in the head and he's like, consider that a divorce? That's not funny.
No.
It's hilarious. It's
kinda
peak
just-
Arnold. Or like when he throws the guy off the elevator, he's like, see you at the party, Richter. These are all like peak Arnold lines and nobody cares.
He threw somebody off an elevator?
Well, it was like, yeah, it was an elevator, right? Well, they're going out. They was like going up, and he's hanging on. And he like pushes him off. The main bad guy who he was fucking his wife or girlfriend.
Delivery wasn't there, so that makes him not funny.
I need some Arnold.
You need another person on your side.
I do. Yeah, Wally would have been here being like, "You guys are fucking wild," because Arnold is amazing.
Had it been like a Will Smith or Martin Lawrence type person, like maybe those lines would have been funnier.
But it's
Half and half
Arnold.
for you, sir.
Oh, a halfie. I like the halves.
I like the halves too. Yeah. So here's something else I'm gonna say. Carrick was standing there when it happened. The one guy said, "Clever girl."
Yeah.
He said,
I'm going to need Carrick on this goddamn podcast. Call him right now because he's going to be like, "Oh no, Steve, you're right 100%.
Ordering
this movie's amazing." What are you ordering?
I'm going to call him right
dinner.
now.
Oh.
What are you ordering?
There you go.
What are you getting for dinner? Popeyes?
Can you hear this?
Chicken
Wendy's.
sandwiches? Wendy's.
So
Ooh.
Wendy's.
He wanted Wendy's.
Spicy chicken sandwich? I love spicy chicken sandwich.
You can hear it.
Oh, I
right?
can hear the shit out of that.
Yeah. Is he going to answer?
He's
He doesn't love you.
He'll probably
this bitch.
He'll probably be like, "What do you want?" Or "What up, ho?"
What up, ho?
I get that one sometimes.
Hey, babe.
Oh my
That was
gosh!
sweet.
You surprised me. I said he's gonna answer and be like, "What up, ho?" And you said, "Hey, babe." Steve wanted to talk to you because he said he needed someone on his side.
All these people hate this movie. Tell me that Total Recall is not the best movie of the 90s.
Yeah, hands down.
Thank you.
Yeah, I told him that we were getting into it earlier.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, they say they don't understand him, but he is not. He has the best one-liners in this movie.
The delivery of the one-liners were not good though because he was so dry.
That's the point.
Like I was telling Terry, he's like the Keanu Reeves of back then, right?
Right.
That's funny.
Anybody could put themselves into him, like I could be. Anybody that watches one of the movies that he's in could go, I could do that, you know?
Exactly. Except
That's
gotta
what I
be
said. I
ripped.
didn't like. I was like, I said because I said that to Carrick. I said, what I don't like about bad acting is these people are making millions of dollars. I want this to feel like it's a real thing that I'm watching, and I don't feel that when I watch bad acting.
But he's not acting bad. He's acting real because that's how
He's
bad of an actor
acting
he is.
Yeah, you're right. It's realistic because
Right.
he is bad.
Right. God damn it. This movie fucks. It's amazing.
What was the other movie that you said was really good?
True Lies.
What? Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers. Yeah, Starship Troopers is my shit.
But
Yeah,
Starship Troopers.
All the Verhoeven films are awesome. Like,
RoboCop
really.
for sure.
But what I was saying, and I told Steve, I said what I said about Starship Troopers though is that one was an obvious like.
But again,
spoofy
that's
stuff.
Verhoeven's whole approach. That's his whole tonality when he directs. Is that he wants to make movies that pull in the B campy
Should've had
parts
him on here
and make
instead
them
of me.
mainstream. Like that's his tone.
Exactly. This movie is amazing. You guys are not seeing the genius of this movie.
But
Like I told her, like she wasn't around back then, but for me, and you
I
know,
was
again,
too.
Also, I'm saying, but secondhand hearing from people, you know, and my own experiences that a lot of the effects in his movie, like in RoboCop, were just unheard of. You know, like when you went to the movies and saw that, you were like, "How the fuck did he do that scene with the X-ray?" You know, like
Right.
because CGI wasn't really a big thing back then. Like
That was actually one of the first big CGI set pieces of the 90s was that X-ray scene.
That actually wasn't bad.
And
see,
it
I actually
holds
thought
up.
that was funny.
That wasn't bad.
I laughed at that part. I thought it was funny. I thought,
yeah,
2 weeks.
no, not that part. The skeleton.
How
part.
is that not funny?
It
The old
wasn't
lady.
funny to me. She wasn't old. She's like 50.
That's old.
That's,
And
that's a little.
it's a little
Oh
old.
my god!
That's half a century, dude.
I'm
That's
gonna
pretty
remember
old.
this when we all turn 50. I'm gonna be like, well,
Sorry,
fucking
mom.
old asses.
Carrick, out of 10, what are you giving Total Recall?
probably like an 8.59.
My man. Because it's amazing.
it's-
Because it's
Why are you
amazing.
with him?
Wait, Carol, or not Carol. Damn it, I gave it
Carol.
away. Okay, well, I was gonna say, Carrick, what was Ross's first wife's name?
Carol.
Yeah. Well, would you have known it if I hadn't said it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say you better. How many times have you seen Friends?
We had, that was one of the trivia questions we did, and Randall, who's also a big Friends fan, did not even know that answer. So,
What a guy.
I almost made a joke about you calling me Carol when you just called me Carol, but you were still talking. So.
Ouch.
ooh.
Mm.
That's to
I
make
kinda
up.
wanna know what it
That's
is.
to make up for the hey babe.
There it is. There it is. What a nice guy.
What were you
though.
gonna say
What do you mean?
about me calling you Carol?
joke?
Oh, I was like, cool. So basically, I'm just Ross's first wife now.
Oh, that's what he means. He was going to make a joke about being Ross's
Yeah.
wife before I said it.
What a guy.
He's trained. He knows the Friends jokes.
He knows.
He will make Friends jokes on his own, even though he talks crap about the show. He will randomly make Friends jokes in the house.
I got one. Pivot.
Pivot.
That's all I got. Pivot.
Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up. That's actually funnier. That part
It is.
is funnier than the pivot part.
I'll say this. Thanks, Carrick, for telling me that I'm right, because this movie's one of the best Arnold movies of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, you should make them watch RoboCop and then Starship Troopers, you know, and
Oh.
get the whole feel of his tone, you know?
Starship Troopers is coming.
Oh, Steve, tell him what else was in the top 10 that you said was one of your favorite movies ever of all time.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 1.
Yeah,
See?
obviously.
Yeah.
But what number was it in the top 10?
Well, at that point, it was number 7. But
Yeah.
when it
Of this week,
debuted,
yeah.
it was up there. It's one. It is at this point the highest grossing independent movie of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's amazing.
And who's your favorite turtle?
Damn! What? Michelangelo.
And Carrick.
Raphael.
I mean, you do you, but it's Mike.
It's Leonardo, but whatever.
It's not.
I
It's
mean, he was
Michelangelo.
chosen as the leader of the group by Splinter himself. So, like,
But he has his.
Yeah, because
his
he was the
demons.
most boring one. That's
Exactly.
a smart leader.
You have to make him the leader, because what else has he got?
Raph got them in so much trouble so many times.
But that's the whole point of his character.
Irresponsible.
Yeah.
Selfish.
He's overcoming his demons.
Selfish.
Okay. Michelangelo's there to eat pizza.
I will say Michelangelo was like the least problematic.
Oh,
He just
he's just
was
having
like
a good
there.
time.
Yeah, he's just there eating pizza, kicking
Cowabunga.
ass.
Relax. Chill. He's
Yeah.
just chill.
It's
I like
tubular.
it. I like it. All right. Well,
All
thank
All right, not being rude, but thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Garrett. God damn it.
Wow, Tarek.
Tarek.
Tarek is our celebrity
trying.
name.
We're just Brenda for now.
I like it.
Susan.
Bye.
Bye.
Was there any what the fuck moments in this movie? And you
The
can't
whole
say
movie.
you can't say the whole movie. Was there a part that made you go, what the fuck now? Don't say the whole movie.
Okay, do you want me to just list some of them?
You could say you can't say the acting. I'm talking like, was there a scene in the movie you're like, what the fuck?
Definitely the ending. Where they're laying there, like I said, when they're
Their
laying
eyes
there,
are popping
and all of
out.
a sudden the oxygen comes in, and they go completely back to normal, like it never happened.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one scene that like always bugs me in this movie is so like they show like the big fans or whatever and like the air coming out of them, but when everything gets fixed, it's clearly just a reverse shot of the air going back in. I was like, come on, you guys are lazy as shit. Do another scene. Make
Yeah,
it
I mean,
look
with a
real.
budget like that, you couldn't have like.
Right. Arnold probably took like 20 to 50 million.
Isn't
of
that so depressing though? Like
they're killing all those
he
people?
doesn't
Sorry. Oh, no, what?
deserve all that money.
Oh,
What the?
I was gonna
fuck?
say like, yeah, they're killing people just to prove a point, but no, you went and just said he
Sharon
doesn't deserve
Stone probably
money.
got like $1 million, and
No, definitely not. At
this
that point.
dude
she was
makes so much money.
Sharon Stone
for-
wasn't that big at this point, so
I know.
she probably got like 20,000.
So $1 million was being low to me, but like maybe not.
That's
Maybe
a
she
lot.
got less.
I would think like
Not compared to 20 million or whatever the fuck he made.
it's Arnold, man.
Pennies compared to that.
I agree, but Arnold was getting a lot.
So I've watched Entourage multiple times, and it's a problematic show in that they're all womanizers and they say a lot of
Yeah.
offensive stuff
Offensive.
about women, other
Sure.
types of people. But entertaining show. Watching that movie actually, or that show got me more familiar with like what actors make in movies and like what budgets are for movies and stuff like that, because they talk about it a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in
It's-
their discussions. And I remember him being excited because he was still relatively new, being excited about like 4 million.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he was getting paid 10, 12, and it was like
Right.
a huge, he was all of a sudden a big star.
Right.
So then to hear someone make 20 something million in the 90s, that is obscene to me.
Oh yeah. But again, when this is my price, that's my price. You want to make this movie or not?
I don't
you know
think I
what
could ever ask for that much.
Oh, you could.
I don't care how big I am. Me personally, like,
personally.
I couldn't ask.
Until that's the norm.
Also, when you're rich, it almost sounds like fucked up to ask for that much. He was already a star. Like you really
they're
needed
getting
$20 million.
Like, I get it, know your worth, but
We're all people who don't make a lot of money, so
Yeah.
you don't know until you're there. You know what I mean? Like
100K. I'm good. Thanks.
until your house is $5 million and the upkeep is.
But
$1
you don't
million.
have to buy a
wouldn't
$5
get
million
it. I
house.
wouldn't.
You don't have to.
Is what
but
I'm saying.
people
Like
do.
I wouldn't.
Fuck no.
I wouldn't until $5 million is nothing to me.
I wouldn't even spend $1 million on a house, even if I was rich, because I'm just not.
Frugal.
I don't need for
Good
what?
word. frugal.
Just a waste of space
If
and
I
a
made-
waste of heat and
If I
electricity.
made
Like, I'm not
$1
using
year,
it.
I'd probably buy like nothing crazy, maybe like 800,000.
Because I would want something on the water, and even
do
around
like a
here,
year.
houses on the water are going to be at least $600,000. So I could see spending
Sure. Yeah, well, it all
that.
depends on
but
where
that's
you are.
because of location. I'm not trying to buy a mansion. I just want it to be near the water.
Right. Also, you're not thinking about, well, I'm just going to buy 3 houses and the upkeep of that, and you don't stay there, so you still have to keep the lights on and do everything there. And
Yeah,
that's
but it's excessive, is what I'm saying.
I agree with that. But as a rich person, this is me. I hate people. So if I'm going somewhere and I like to travel and I like to go to these places, I would buy a separate house
Sure,
to have.
look, and I think
I want to go to
Yeah,
Lake
yeah.
Tahoe. I want to have a house in Lake Tahoe.
But there are people
But
who
it
are
wouldn't
not
be-
rich that that have vacation houses.
Yeah,
like
but it
you
wouldn't
can.
be a
got
big
that.
house.
Yeah, I still wouldn't get a mansion in other places.
Because if I'm going somewhere for vacation, I'm not
Yeah.
staying at the house all the time.
No,
But if
I
I'm
want to.
I'm out
Hold
doing
on,
things.
I feel the same way when I'm getting a hotel room or something. I will stay at a fucking Hampton Inns. I
gives a
don't
shit?
need a
But hold on.
nice hotel
The
room.
difference is if I'm rich, I can't go anywhere because the minute I go somewhere, I'm mobbed by people, right?
Well,
so
then
you have to
I don't
get that
want to
big-
be
No,
I wanna be-
famous.
Yeah, you can be rich without being famous.
Okay, touche. But to be rich to me is to be in like Slipknot where I wear a mask and nobody knows what the fuck I look
That's fine.
like.
You can do that.
Right? And then I buy my Rambler for whatever and I can stay there and then go
Steve,
do
celebrities
my
are
thing.
just like us. I see them shop at Walmart and stuff in the
Have you
tabloids.
seen Adam Sandler? He wears sweatpants.
Oh my God,
big
he's
ass
buying
shirts,
he's buying like Old
shitty
Navy and
shoes.
shit. Like
He
he
doesn't give a
like.
fuck. That's how he
Guess
has
what?
money.
I'm
He's
still
got 3
shopping.
kids.
That's how
They're
he keeps
expensive.
money.
Guess
Yeah.
what?
You know
I'm
how many
still
3
shopping
kids-
on Amazon if I'm rich. I am.
Fuck yeah.
Like
We're
that's
getting the
just
better
what
stuff
it
on
is.
Amazon.
Hold
We're
on.
getting the better stuff.
I'm going to be friends with Jeff Bezos and I'm going to get that goddamn
Is
discount.
it Bezos or Bezos?
Whatever. I'm
I
going
thought
to
it
be
was-
friends with
I thought it was
him.
Bezos.
I don't know how to
He's
pronounce
Canadian.
it.
Just
Right.
fucking let it go.
Canadian.
All I'm going to say is I'm going to be friends with him and get the discount. And let's be real, most
But do you need
famous
a
people
discount
do
on
get
Amazon?
a discount. Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
For
What do you do?
He wants a discount on Amazon. I said,
I want a
"Do you need
discount wherever I
on
go.
Amazon?"
How many people that are rich get stuff for free? All of them,
Oh, for sure.
right?
Wear this and then say,
Right.
"Oh, this is Cartier," or
Exactly.
"This is Versace."
Versace. Versace. What was that from? Showgirls.
Oh Jesus! I was thinking
You're
something
supposed to
more
know.
Find out
recent.
soon.
I was thinking something more recent than that.
She goes.
So
she
I was
goes
like,
to that. She goes to look at the dress in the window.
Oh, yeah, and
She's
she's
like, I
like,
want the Versace.
Versace,
And they're like
yeah.
laughing at her, like it's Versace.
See, she should have pulled a Pretty Woman and been like, "Do you want my fucking money?"
Right. Well, at the
It's
time,
Versace.
right? It's whatever I want to call it.
Exactly.
And speaking of, the fun facts of the fucking.
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger noticed that Michael Ironside was constantly on his phone between takes. When he broached the subject with Ironside, he was told that he was phoning his sister and she was currently suffering from cancer. Arnold immediately brought Michael to his trailer and they had an hour-long three-way conversation with Ironside's sister about what exercises she should do and what kinds of food she should be eating. Ironside has never forgotten Schwarzenegger's kindness, and neither has his sister, who is still alive today.
How sweet.
that's good that she's
How
still alive.
sweet.
I think that shows to me, and again, a lot of people are like, oh, Schwarzenegger, famous guy, whatever. He was and still is someone about the people. You know what I mean? Like, he's not just about himself or doing
Well,
all
I
these
think that's
things.
why he was he became
governor, yeah,
governor.
the governor.
Like he wanted to actually,
help people.
because there
yeah.
are some people who want to be
Famous
governors and presidents and senators and shit like that because they just want control.
Right.
I don't think
exactly.
that was him. I think he wanted to actually change
No, for sure. There's
Shit.
been, since
or
the
make sure that shit stayed.
right with
in a
COVID
good
and
place.
everything, he's made a lot of videos like showing
Yeah.
people how to help things and do stuff, and it's like you don't need to do this, but he's doing it, and you're like, good for him. What a guy.
He didn't like some of our recent presidents either.
No, he did not.
He was pretty vocal about that.
Yes, he was. When Ronald Shusett and Dan O'Bannon first started working on the screenplay for this movie back in 1970, they realized that the movie would probably be too expensive and difficult to make by the standards of special effects and budget at the time. They delayed working on the story and instead worked on an idea O'Bannon had about a space monster terrorizing a spaceship crew. This ended up becoming Alien. To you guys, you're like, whatever. That's like one of the biggest
I know what
horror
Alien is.
movies of all time.
Yeah.
Which one's the one where they had to put mud on them?
That's Predator.
Is it?
yeah.
Okay. The one.
Yeah, the one. Yeah. Alien, by the way, is a movie you would hate because nothing happens for a long time, and it's all about atmosphere. But
Okay.
it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen in my life.
You just reminded me of something I wanted to say.
How do they bring in Alien versus Predator then? How does that?
Do you want me to just spoil it for
How
you?
does that happen?
Why don't you just watch them?
Watch all of them.
So in Alien,
Sounds
You have to
like
watch
a
the
lot.
Alien and the Predator,
Yeah.
and then all.
I'll have time.
no,
It's
no,
fine.
you're not going to watch Predator 2. In Predator 2, Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon is in New York City battling a fucking predator. And it sounds awesome, right? Because it is. Anyways, he ends up getting onto his ship. In his ship, in one of the background shots, for a split second, there is a skull and there's like a bunch of trophies. So basically what Predator is an alien that goes to different planets or does things to just hunt. For the fucking love of it.
He's
For-
a hunter.
Yes. No,
Okay.
no.
No, Predator.
Predator is basically like
That's why
human.
he's called Predator. He's
Right.
He's literally just hunts. That's what he does.
Predator's one person. Thanks.
Well, no,
I got
it's
that now.
one
It's
sort
a
of
type of
a type
person.
of alien. It's a type of alien. So think of it like if humans
it's
went.
alien
It's a
versus alien.
species of alien, essentially. Like that's what they are. They are predators.
Right.
They are the predators.
That's what humans call them.
So he's the alien.
Hold on. So if you could think of what a human would do if they could travel to different planets, what would they do? They would hunt different fucking animals on these planets to take them as
Ooh,
trophies,
I
right?
wouldn't.
Let's be real. Humans would do that.
Some.
That's what
humans.
Predator
Some-
is.
I don't think I would.
Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't travel on other planets.
Me
Fuck
neither.
no.
Space does not
Fuck
interest me.
that
In what
shit.
it's too unknown.
Anyways,
I'm
so
dying.
Predator is these aliens go to different planets, or depending on which movie you watch, have people come to Earth and they're already here. They hunt for sport, right? So aliens or alien, if you want to get super deep into it, was a designed organism for military purposes. Okay. The way the aliens produce is they make these pods in which a face hugger or a different type of like arachnid looking alien shoots out of it and grabs onto your face. And as it's on your face, it impregnates into your fucking, whatever you want to call this, your esophagus, an egg. And that egg grows and does what it needs to do inside of you, eventually shooting through your chest and killing you to be born. Then that turns into a giant alien and just goes around and kills people. The cool thing about that alien is its tongue shoots out and has another mouth on the tongue. So it can shoot through you or kill you that way. It's fucking wild.
Cool
Anyways.
is probably an exaggerated word for
Sure,
that.
whatever.
But
It's a great idea of cinema, right?
Okay.
The way they
should
got
watch it.
together,
I'm not-
you should watch it. The
not
way they
saying.
got together was, like I said, in Predator 2, Danny Glover gets onto the Predator ship and walks by a wall of trophies, basically. One of those trophies happened to be an alien skull from the alien universe. And it was only meant to be like an Easter egg for people paying attention. Well, because of that, they ended up making a comic book series, which was Alien vs. Predator. So it was the aliens from Alien and then the
Fighting.
predators from
because
that.
he's hunting, like
Okay.
that's
He's
how he got
fighting
the skull.
Right.
Is he hunted?
aliens.
Yeah.
So then they ended up making a movie, which was Alien vs. Predator, AVP, and they kind of retconned some stuff to say that Predator was on Earth to teach the Incans how to create temples or how to live, basically.
You know who the Incans are?
So all those pyramids that the Incans made were from Predator. Well, what they would do is they would have a sacrificial thing where they would take humans and put them in this giant pyramid to hunt. And those humans would go into this pyramid and get impregnated by the aliens. So when the aliens burst out of them, they would hunt the aliens. Every like 100 years or something. Yeah. See, this is where it's getting crazy. It's not important. What's important is you watch Alien 1 and 2 and Predator. That's it. So Alien and Aliens, that's all you need to watch, and Predator is all you need to watch. Beyond that,
You don't need to watch all of them to watch Alien vs. Predator.
no, you just watch Alien vs.
Okay.
Predator. It explains what you need to know. And it doesn't ever make any sense. It's a stupid 2000s action movie to be a stupid 2000s
It
action
is
movie.
like Freddy vs. Jason.
Pretty much.
It's like let's make people will watch this because we're combining
Yeah.
two classic monsters.
I do want to say Freddy vs. Jason was fucking great.
I
Pretty
again though,
Stupid.
acting was It was
Horrendous.
stupid. It was
Horrendous.
terrible. But Jason and Freddy were still awesome.
It was
like
great. It was great.
Freddy has always been my favorite, like classic
Oh, yeah.
monster villain.
The first movie is amazing.
Because I thought it was a really cool concept. It wasn't
It
your
is.
typical slasher movie. It wasn't your typical killer. The fact that he had to kill you in your sleep, like that was ingenious.
And you
to me.
can't. You have to go to sleep.
You have to sleep.
right, or you're
Like-
gonna die. And then he's got you that way too, right? Like it is.
Which
great
is
game.
why then they start giving them those pills to make them not dream when they sleep, blah, blah, blah. But I like that concept. I thought it was cool.
It is good. We will eventually probably get, if not. See, Alien is a really good movie, but I don't think your brain's wired for it. It's a slow moving 70s.
I'd get distracted really easily.
That's the problem.
So this movie then was probably because it jumped right in. So you said it kept you entertained. That's probably why it was
Yeah. 'Cause it's all
right
there.
out
It's all
the
there.
gate. It was
Yeah.
That was one of the things I didn't like about this movie.
It was
I
just
said that
all
to
in it.
Carrick. I said it was way too like fast for me. Like there wasn't any lead up. It was just all of a sudden like 10 minutes in.
But it's
We're
Arnold,
losing
right?
our
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like
I mean, I
and
like
Carrick
that.
was like, well, that's why waste time. Like just get to the.
Get to the fucking point.
And I said, I don't know. I guess I like when there's a little bit. You could have done at least an extra 15 minutes of
You could have, yeah.
like lead up time, especially when this is a 2-hour movie. Like,
well, think if they added that extra lead
but I'm
up
saying
time,
we
yeah.
could have cut. You could have cut out some of the other stuff that was a little too long.
I'll agree. There's
Some of the
definitely
fight scenes were too long. The ending was too long. You could have. They didn't need to be suffocating there for fucking
No.
ever. Especially when they went back to fucking normal as soon as the.
I know. And they just reversed that for
That really
too.
drives me nuts. I
Yeah.
can't believe that.
So you have seen the newer one, right?
Yeah.
Tell me they're not the same movie.
They're not the same movie. They're
all.
not. The concept is the same. The story
Somewhat,
is
yeah.
not.
No.
Like the concept, the basic
It's too serious. for me.
blueprint
Yeah.
is the same, but these stories are not the same. So
I-
you could still watch the new one if you wanted to. It's not the same movie.
I will say I do like the cast.
Yes, the
I
cast
mean,
is good.
Colin Farrell.
And the concept is still cool.
Beale.
Like it's still a cool concept.
Heisenberg.
It's just you can't. I don't think it's a movie you can compare to the original.
No. Unless you made it
And
the
I
same.
think that was part of the reason it got such bad.
Oh yeah.
Because you're comparing it, you're like, well, I wanted a new.
Right. I wanted that. But you didn't
And
get
I
it,
feel
yeah.
like with a lot of, and that's what people do a lot with remakes. You're comparing it, but this one I don't feel like was a remake because they didn't do the exact same story.
They took the story and changed it.
It was called the same thing, and it was the same, like I said, the same blueprint.
Right.
Like you still go to a place to do the memory thing and
Yeah,
stuff,
okay.
but the rest of it
Was
is not.
different.
He's not going to Mars. He's not
Right.
fucking.
And they
you
had
know-
that like, oh, we got shot through the hand bullshit. And
Yeah.
it was like we got the same scar, but we don't remember. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not in the movie.
No,
It sucks.
but
Where's
that's-
Benny?
but that's
I
what
want
I'm
Benny.
But also,
Screw you! Come on, it's hilarious.
To that point, the newer one, while still being sci-fi based, was more realistic than the original.
I agree with that. They don't even go to Mars, do they?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same story at all. The plot is not the same. It's just the same concept.
I agree.
Where you go and you have these memories, and then the whole movie, you're like, is it? Isn't it? Like,
different.
is he in the thing still? Is he not in the thing still? Like,
I kind of want to watch it and I don't at the same time. I've seen it once and I went, ugh.
but that's what I'm saying. If you go, you have to go into it. You have to look at it as a movie that's.
Then don't call it Total Recall
And I get what you're saying.
because you're giving yourself
or
an
Total
expectation.
Recall something else, like
Yeah.
you know how semicolon something, or like how they.
Total Recalled. Look at what I did there. Anyways, Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally going to play the title role in RoboCop, but problems with the costume caused producers to drop the idea. After Schwarzenegger saw RoboCop, he said that he loved the movie and wanted to work with director Paul Verhoeven. When he and Verhoeven heard about Total Recall, they decided to work on that.
Who was RoboCop? I don't even remember.
I know.
Like the actual.
It's Peter something. But again, it wouldn't have worked because
Was it
he
someone
was...
bit like?
No, he wasn't. He was just a regular dude. And that, I think, is what works with RoboCop because he's a regular dude who dies in the line of fire. If you remember seeing that scene. he
Peter
gets-
Weller.
Thank you.
My
I
God,
said-
he's so old now.
Yeah. He got fucking destroyed in that interest in the intro of that
Is
movie.
he alive?
Probably. But in the that is what Carrick was saying earlier is
75
seeing that
years old.
movie and seeing what was in it and seeing how he dies in that movie is fucking wild. He gets lit up. Remember I was talking about the squibs in this movie, like super juicy? You want to see somebody get destroyed? Family Guy makes a joke about it, and I don't know if you've seen that
man.
episode where he like turns into holes getting shot while leaning down. It's hilarious.
I saw the tomato
Tomato
scores.
Tomatometer?
for RoboCop, it's probably like 90 something.
It is, but like I didn't do it on purpose. It's just the first thing that came
I mean,
up when I
we probably
saw
won't get to
RoboCop.
RoboCop. I do think RoboCop is a great movie. The funny thing to me is Red from that 70s show is the bad guy in it.
I
and
know.
I can't
You
take
can't
it seriously.
see him.
Right?
Yeah.
I just want to see like dumbass.
It's
that's
like
all
when I watch movies where like there's an actor and he's been like
In something
notoriously
else.
bad guys in other movies and he's not a bad guy in this movie. I have a problem liking him.
I agree with that.
Which is dumb because they're an actor, they're playing different roles. But when you've cast someone
Yeah.
so many times
if
as
you're
a negative
famous,
role,
like if you're Sean Bean and you don't die in a movie, I'm upset. I want to see him die.
but it's also the same
already know
thing
what
as
I'm
putting like Adam Sandler in serious roles. Like you're waiting for him to be goofy, you're waiting for him to be
Until you watch Uncut Gems and you're like, God damn, good
Oh
for
no,
you.
and I'm not saying he hasn't done well in his serious movies, but I'm saying when you first see it, you're like,
That's like putting Dane Cook in a serious role and going,
Well, that's kind
but
where's the dick joke?
Mr. Brooks was good.
Mr.
of
Brooks is
how I
actually
feel
really
about
good.
Chris
Mr.
Evans in that one movie that he was like the villain.
Knives Out.
Yes,
That
Knives
was a
Out.
great movie, though.
It was,
great
but
movie.
it was still hard to see him
Because you
as a
didn't
villain.
want him to be. You didn't want him to be
I was
bad.
on
Have
his
you seen
side.
Glass Onion yet?
Yes.
I did. Yeah, it was actually.
Did you think it was better than the first one?
No.
No.
But it was good.
It was
It was
good.
good.
It was very
It
good.
was
It was
not
good.
better than the first one, but it was good. I liked
turned it off.
that there was more. They put more comedy in this one
They did.
than they did in the first one. It had more like.
I liked Kate Hudson in this movie.
I like that she was
great.
very like, you know what, she pulled a little bit from Almost Famous, I feel like, into that like
Yeah, over the
free
top.
like whatever. I like Kate Hudson. I really
too.
do. I like her.
My best friend's girl.
Yes,
Pop that
with
pussy.
Dane Cook,
Yep.
and she's like, yes, this was my prom song or whatever the fuck she said.
My favorite part of that movie, and we will cover that movie.
I think that's on my list too.
It's on my list. Is at the end when he's talking to her mother, and just
I bet you
pulls
were.
him down. Yep.
What does he say? I bet you were a hot piece of ass or
Yeah,
something. And she's like,
"Oh yeah."
you bet I was.
And then he just pulls down.
Because at first
it's not gonna
it
suck
worked.
itself. Yeah.
At first it worked. She was just going along with it, and he was like, "Oh, gotta step it up." So let me just drop my trowel right in front of her.
Patrick Swayze was signed on to play Quaid when the movie began production in Australia with Bruce Beresford as the director. However, early in production, Dino De Laurentiis' company went bankrupt. After Arnold Schwarzenegger heard about this, he persuaded Carrico to buy the script for him. How
Did
wild.
Arnold cheat himself into this role? Is that what you're telling me?
No. So he had his eye on the script.
And stole it.
He didn't steal it.
From Swayze.
It's when what happened was that the production company went out of business and went, it's mine now. So
I
maybe
think I would have liked this movie more with Swayze.
it would be a completely different movie for sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be less. It would have felt less campy because
Oh,
Swayze
you
is
can't-
not
yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
You
Like
can't-
he.
You can't pee it up
Can't
for
pee.
No,
sure.
no, it's can't. Okay, whatever.
Can't be.
I agree. I think it would be a completely different movie.
Yeah.
I think it would be still a great movie, but completely
But I
different.
think if they had Swayze, it would have been somewhere in between the original and the remake. Like because it
yeah,
would have been
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit more serious, but it still would have had the
Right. So it's that
more sci-fi part of the original, but it would have been a little bit more serious like the remake.
yeah, and I would like to see that movie.
Yeah,
I really would.
I think that would have been.
Would be good.
But that's why I say watching the remake. I think if you watch it without the first one in mind,
Right.
it's better than what the ratings are, because I think the ratings a lot of people were tainted with.
Yeah, I agree with
Because
that.
I looked up the new one because I wanted to see, and
probably like
and I had to make sure I
30%.
typed in like 2012 because I was afraid that I was going to type it in and like the
Wow, already.
original
2012.
was going to come up. But I looked up the new one because I wanted to see like how, because you said it was terrible. So I I was like, I don't remember it being terrible. But one of the, you know how in the Rotten Tomatoes, they have like a summarized like
Yeah. Synopsis or whatever.
average of the critics
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
The biggest, the main one that they put on the top was that it didn't have the same sci-fi and not campy, but whatever word they use, feel of the first one. And I said, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's bad, because they wanted the first one
I got you.
and it wasn't the first one.
I agree with that. So,
But I agree with you, then don't call it
Yeah, don't call it Total Recall.
Call it Total Recall something reimagined or Total Recall rebooted.
Speaking of this movie, the original cut of the movie was given an X rating by the MPAA for excessive violence. Some violence, though, was trimmed and different camera angles were used in order to change, and some of the more over-the-top scenes that were in the movie were changed then to be re-rated to R.
I would be interested to see what they...
I don't know what I just said.
It was rough.
I understood what you were saying. But I would be interested to see what they changed, because watching this movie, I can't see anything that would make it. I've seen way worse movies that aren't X.
Yeah, at the
that
time,
still had a rated R.
I'm assuming because if you watch Starship Troopers, there's some like scenes in where people get shot and like their legs blow off and stuff like that. I feel like that's probably
you get that in the Patriot and shit too. I mean, the Patriot was gory as fuck,
but it wasn't throughout the whole movie. I think that's where it changes.
No, just a lot of the bigger battle scenes had like cannons taking off people's heads and shit.
Right. Where in this, it was probably throughout it. Mel Gibson.
Have you seen the Patriot?
No.
Oh my god. Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, thank you. So, all right, final.
You have to watch it just because Heath Ledger's in it. Honestly,
it's a good movie. It's really a good movie.
It's long.
So we're gonna change something here for final decision. We're gonna give it.
Patriot is over 2 hours. I think it's lengthy.
It's like 2:45.
It's long.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's good. It's definitely worth the watch. But that's because it's a story. Like it is. It happens over a time period and stuff too.
Just
so
like Braveheart, and they came out like back-to-back years.
Same dude, do. Like,
Mel Gibson. Anyway, so final decisions out of 10, right?
Yep.
We're gonna do that, but we're also gonna say were we entertained by it, and would we recommend it to anyone?
Oh, not just
our mothers, anyone. So
that changes things. That does change things.
Right. So the reason why I want to do this, and I want to say this, is we're going to start creating extra videos with just our final D. Get it? Final D. The final decision, right? So we're going to do that. So we'll have like a 10-minute video on our final decisions and a full video if you want to watch that. So I'm hoping that would boost some stuff.
So people would still like at least watch that, and then maybe they'll be enticed to watch them.
Correct. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, this is only a few minutes. I can watch this.
Exactly. So final D's.
These few minutes are gonna kill me because I got piss.
Oh, that's
so bad.
No wonder you're rushing.
Final decision.
I know.
Out of 10,
I'm trying. So
were you
hard.
entertained, and would you recommend it to anyone, Randy?
Was I entertained? Yes.
Okay.
Not the entire time. There were some parts that dragged, but overall, I would recommend it to.
Well, even Steve admitted it was a little long.
Some people. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. So no, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody.
Would you give it out of 10?
I would give it a 6.
Why?
It dragged on a little bit. It was fucking almost 2 hours long for a 1999 or 1990 movie. The graphics weren't that great, but for 1990, I would say they're pretty good.
2 weeks.
That part wasn't even that good.
It wasn't.
amazing.
Why do you keep harping on that part?
Because it's amazing.
It's not that good.
When have you seen that in a movie, and when have you seen it since?
Why
It was
would you?
original.
Why
It's
would you
original.
see it?
Fucking.
There are definitely movies where people have disguised themselves.
No, with a different head on
Mission
top of their
Impossible.
head. Okay. It copied Total Recall.
Sure, yeah, copied. Yep, let's go with that.
I didn't like his clever girl thing. Carrick was like, "Where do you think they got it in Jurassic Park?"
And
I was like,
they didn't get it from that, no.
And I said, also, you can't say that because any person in the world that hears clever girl, they are not going to go, "Oh, Total Recall."
Right,
they're going to go Jurassic Park. Like,
Clever girl.
clever girl with the raptor head. That's what all the memes are. They're the raptor head with the clever girl.
Tara, what do you give it out of 10? And were you entertained? And would you recommend it?
So, I would give it a 5 out of 10. I sorry, it's not my thing. You're lucky I'm even giving it a 5.
Oof.
I do my bill. That's all I gotta do. I'm gonna do.
Undo your belt. You got to piss. God damn. I'm going to put like a trough down here for you.
That's so
Maybe
much
if you had
better.
some Decision Real leggings, they wouldn't be pushing
I
on your
know.
bladder.
Speaking of
so much.
those leggings,
You can get this right on the
look at
website,
that.
www.thedecisionreal.com.
Plug.
Look at that.
It's not, and you know what? It's not my cup of tea. So like, take that as you will. I didn't enjoy it. I was not entertained by it. I could not wait for it to end. And I'm sorry I'm being so harsh, but it is what it is. I looked at my phone multiple times while I was watching it. It is what it is. And I'm sorry.
Tara doesn't like Arnie.
No, I think that's what it is.
Tara doesn't like
I
Arnie.
would watch Jingle All the Way
over this.
You would
Easier
not.
before this movie. Yes, I would.
Wow.
Easier.
Wow. Well, what I'm going to say, you guys are going to completely be like, you're
Like he's not even going to let me give the
I'm
other
gonna give it
answers
a
because
9
he's like,
out of 10.
he's like, you're not. He's like, I'm not even going to ask you if you'd recommend it. I'm not
No,
even
go
going
for it. Okay. Would you recommend it to anybody?
No.
At all? You wouldn't say, hey, Total Recall, you like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you should watch this?
If someone said I like Arnold Schwarzenegger and they said they hadn't seen Total Recall, I would be like, why not watch it? If you like Arnold, watch it. But I wouldn't be like, oh my God,
Gotta see
you
this
need to
movie.
watch this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Unless I was like, you need to watch this.
But
It's so terrible.
anybody I've asked about this movie since seeing it, I was like, have you seen Total Recall? And they're like, yeah.
Were they
I've
all
seen the movie."
guys? Were they all guys?
Yeah.
And they went, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I was like, have you seen, do you remember the 3 titties? I'm like, fuck yeah, I remember
Yeah,
3
exactly.
titties.
And again,
Yeah.
all guys. And I think that, and Carrick, same way. But again, you're also asking people that when this movie came out, they were
Like 5 years
young.
old,
Yeah.
They were young, or when they watched it, they were young. Maybe not when
When
it came out, but when they watched it, they were young. So to a guy watching this movie, it's one of the bigger action movies so
Arnold's in
far.
it and 3
Arnold's in it,
titties?
boobies,
Right.
like.
Yeah.
That's what I said to Carrick. You saw this when you were 6 years old, and then you watched it again when you were 12.
Let's be real.
Like-
I mean, if you're looking for an action movie of the 90s and it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger,
3
titties,
fucking titties.
but 3 titties, a midget hooker
3 titties on one
Gore.
person.
on Mars.
blood, and
Come on, you're not going to be
shooting.
like, so you're saying you wouldn't recommend it to anybody. You're going to go to 5 out of 10, and you weren't entertained.
I wasn't. The only way I was entertained was by making fun of it.
Oof.
Steve, what would you give it? What would you recommend?
So I'm going to recommend this to any person who likes action movies. I mean, this is an action movie,
Sure.
set piece after set piece. I mean, I'm going to
This
give
should be a
this.
Thanks for
comedy.
tuning into
this
the
should be
Decision
classified
Reel.
as a
Shut
comedy.
the fuck up.
Yeah.
Let me talk. You guys are going to hate me. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Oh my God.
I love this movie. Everything about it works for me. I mean, this is a pure Arnold spectacle from top to bottom. The one-liners, to me, there's not like a dull moment in this movie. Like you said, you didn't like it, but I love that it just gets in it and goes. It doesn't waste any time. Yeah, it's a little long, but every part of it works. Is it a little like, does it, the runtime go a little too long? Maybe at the end, like you said, with them like, I fucking can't breathe. Sure, but for the most part, the one-liners hit for me because I love Arnold one-liners. The action set pieces, they all like, it's just like a fever-filled crazy dream that we still don't know is a dream or not. And what is it, 30, what do we say, 32 years on? I think it still holds up.
Sure.
You guys can say, I think this is dumb.
But here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
How many times have you seen this movie?
Oh.
Okay, so a lot. When was the first time you saw this movie? In the 90s?
Definitely when I was young.
In the
for sure,
90s.
For sure.
We are watching it as adults for the first time.
Yeah. But see,
All
that's,
I'm saying is...
But so you're putting it, so yes, I'm a little rose-tinted colored glasses for sure, but
That's
you're
what I'm
also
saying.
putting this up against movies that come out today saying, well, it looks bad.
I'm
and it
not.
doesn't do
I'm
this.
not.
He is. This
He may be.
motherfucker right here.
I'm
No,
not.
I
because
said I had no rose tinted glasses.
there
on this
are
one.
other movies in the 90s and 80s that I like.
Better.
That has Arnold
Could I
in
name
it?
one? Probably not.
No, I
I'm
don't
not good
like
at that
Arnold,
stuff.
so why would I? But
So that might be part of the problem is if you don't like Arnold in his acting, right? You're
acting?
and that's the issue is he's being over the top and stupid on purpose.
but he's always over the top, and so I don't know that it's on purpose.
But-
like I really don't.
I
I think
get it,
he's
I get it.
always kind of over the top because that's in his mind. That's acting. He is just an overactor. Like he, you know, Jim Carrey is an overactor, but Jim Carrey is an overactor on purpose for
Right.
comedy. I think Arnold is an overactor because that's just he thinks he needs to sell it, so he's
Yeah.
over the top.
I agree.
But what the reason I say that is because the first thing Carrick said was, "Yeah, and my dad took me when I was 7 years old, and everyone loved this movie then." And I'm like, "Okay, great. So you are thinking of it as this epic movie in the 90s.
Right.
I'm watching it in 2023 as someone who's never seen it before as a grown adult, and that's why I think it doesn't hold up." I think if you watch it in the 90s and you watch it now, sure, you'll still like it because it's nostalgic and you liked it back then. I think if you watch it now with fresh eyes, never seeing it, I think it's not going to be as epic
Good.
as
Yeah. I agree.
as you think.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's still an 8 for me. because I love Arnold
Because here's the
Schwarzenegger.
thing, I love Jurassic Park, and that came out only 2.5 years later.
But that is a completely different movie. I mean, you can't.
But what I'm
I don't
saying
think
is,
you can put them together.
what I mean is, you can't say, "Oh, well, it was the '90s." Is what I'm saying. I'm not comparing it to movies today. I'm comparing it to movies in the '90s. Is what I mean. And I don't mean. I'm saying overall,
It's
like
de facto wasn't a good movie.
acting wise,
I get what
is what
you're
I'm saying.
I get what you're trying to say or trying to get me to believe, but you ain't changing my mind.
I'm not.
You ain't changing my mind.
You watched it when
Yeah.
you were like 10 years
And
old.
I
I'm
love it.
not changing your mind.
No, never.
I'm
So,
saying
I got you.
That
maybe
was
if you
smooth as
hadn't.
fuck.
You like that?
Would you see that?
That was fucking good.
I'm saying if you hadn't and you watched it with fresh eyes today, you might think differently. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe. Anyways, next week, it's the pick that Randy bought for you, Small Soldiers. I'm excited because I love this movie too,
I
which
already
is
watched it.
90s cheese, in which you're saying is good, but this 90s cheese is bad. So we'll talk next week of why it's different, but same, but different.
I get what you're saying, but I do think I think this is
Later's
this
90s
is,
cheese.
This is also, I mean, you've got kids as the main characters. You've got,
do.
I mean, it's
Phil Hartman also.
It's different.
You get a +1 for Phil Hartman. You're getting an extra point.
also like Tommy Lee Jones is voicing
Tommy
a
Lee
fucking
Jones.
toy.
You're right.
Like, you just, I mean, come on.
Archer, emissary of the
But it
Gorgons.
also is still like
Dennis Leary.
it's traumatic and it's actually like scary at times. Like
Yeah.
watching it as a kid, like
Not to get too deep into Small Soldiers yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's more real today than
This
it
is your
is
own
then.
fault.
Oh, we're gonna keep going because you got to piss
I'm
so bad.
gonna walk
he's
out.
gonna walk.
What I'm
out.
saying is, Small Soldiers today could happen more than it did in what 97 or
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
it came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So like it's like more relevant today. And also what I said, Dennis Leary's in this movie, killing it. Come on,
And that's what I mean. I think this one holds up better than something like.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
we will see.
We will see. Yeah, next week, Small Soldiers.
I think you're
will be
gonna like
fun.
this one. You haven't
whoa,
seen this?
whoa!
You haven't
have
seen
never
this?
seen Small Soldiers.
I think
What
you're
have you
gonna-
seen?
I think
I'm
you're gonna-
not even surprised at this
Exactly.
point.
I know.
Exactly.
I swear, 70% of the stuff that we pick on this show, he hasn't seen.
Probably a little higher. So I'll probably have to put that.
You
on
don't even
Plex.
need that extra reel thing that you guys do of him never seeing it because it's every episode that we do.
Yeah, it's very true. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. As always, we can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What?
Oh, you went Twitter.
I went Twitter,
Twitter.
YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
On our website, www.thedecisionreel.com. There you can find our merch tab. You can help us out, buy something from us. We have some cool stuff. We might be dropping some other new merch too.
Nerdy merch.
Something nerdy merch. That's a thing. I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. As always, enjoy whatever you're doing after this. I don't know. Could be something cool.
Randall's going potty.
Yes.
He's going to enjoy his
Yes.
fucking piss after this.
Yes.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.